White Stripes. Fell in love with a girl on XFM 104.9. Well, it's 1:05 of a Saturday.
That's true enough.
So it's the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Steve Merchant.
Hi.
Now listen.
Karl, no, say his name. Karl Pilkington.
Okay, I was just getting a little bit annoying because they're writing up now and heating.
I know, they're saying
it's sort of like it's the Karl Pilkington Show with Ricky and Steve, so let's,
Has he won multiple awards?
No, exactly. No.
Is he one of the hottest comedy faces on TV? I
don't think so. No. Does he eat too much cheese?
Exactly.
Get a bit sick?
Is he bloated old fat 40-year-old?
Right, steady on,
with stupid fat face?
You goggle-eyed freak.
All right, now let's move for that straight away.
Oh, you'll be happy.
Go on.
The Wurzels have made a bit of a comeback.
Don't give me...
No, listen, right? There's a Sainsbury's advert. And they sing a song. It's the Wurzels singing a song about something. Phone in. What's the number, Karl?
08700 800 1234.
Phone in if you know what I'm talking about. Just in general. That's a new competition. It goes
Can we just repeat that number every 30 seconds? And people can just explain what the last link would have been.
Phone in if you know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Phone in if you care what we're talking about.
Phone in, well,
so what's the Wurzel story? What's the deal?
No, I just thought of you because they sounded like, and it's a song. That it's a modern song I think they've done, and I can't remember what the song is, but maybe.
What you mean? It's them doing a modern hit.
It's just an advert. It's just an advert. I think it's the Wurzels. I thought of something as well. You know that I drove my tractor past your haystack last night.
I'm not that familiar, surprisingly.
What sort of person lives in a haystack? Maybe they don't live in it. Maybe it's just saying that's your haystack.
Well, yeah, they're probably a farm owner. But the problem with the Wurzels is, it's like, if you come from the West Country, you're just constantly cursed by this. Oh, you must love the Wurzels. Do you like the Wurzels? Ooh, ah. And it's like,
But then why do you do your hair and your sideburns like them if you don't like them?
Well, smocks are very comfortable, Rick. But, I don't want to be kind of, tight. I mean, there's lots of famous things that have come from Bristol. Obviously, Tricky and Massive Attack and Portishead from the area Portishead.
Yeah.
No one seems to flag them up every time they want to slag off the West Country.
Do you still make your own clogs?
Yes, I do.
That's fantastic.
Cheap.
You used to knit your trousers, didn't you, when you used to go? Was it why was that? Because it's just like cheap material.
Straw is cheap down there.
Well, we got a great show lined up for you.
Have we?
Yeah. I was bluffing. I don't know. I've
Rick,
no idea.
we sometimes worry about the record library here at XFM because we tend to go in and try and find something. It'd be like an old Smith's classic.
Karl's sighing because he gets stick Monday morning.
But it's very hard to find anything half decent. I think most of it's been nicked by people like Sturgis, and otherwise it's just bad. I don't know who it is that's buying the CDs.
What was Four Non Blonde's big single?
Exactly. Yeah, something like that.
Excellent. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Four Non Blondes. Wow, good effort. Yeah, I don't think you'll be returning to the fish factory on Monday, will you, Steve? No. Yeah, you will. You will. Go on.
But they, anyway, so we got there. Four Non Blondes, we found a lot of In Excess out there for the XFM record library. Guess what I found today, Rick?
Go on.
The very best of Tony Basil.
That's one track then?
Well, yeah, her hit was Mickey, obviously. Oh, Mickey, You're So Fine.
Yeah.
They've managed to pack out 18 tracks. First track's Mickey, number of other tracks. Track number 17, Mickey Spanish version.
Right.
Track 18, Mickey 12-inch version.
And track 19, Dickie.
Yeah.
Similar tune,
exactly.
But about a completely different person altogether.
Look at this, they've stuck a proud property of XFM sticker on that. The best of Tony Basil.
Even Sturgis wouldn't nick that.
Come on, Karl, what's the story?
It was good in its day, wasn't it?
Why is it in the XFM library?
About Adam and the Ants. In the day, it was important, wasn't it? I remember that being out in the charts. It was all right.
Yes, I know,
music's meant to be fun.
Fine,
okay.
let's play Mickey.
Let's play some Strokes then.
No, let's play Mickey then. If you're so happy about this, Karl, should we play Mickey later?
Yeah.
The Spanish version, what about that?
We've called your bluff.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Phone in if you know what he just said.
That's the Strokes, and last night, we just had a call, didn't we, from Johnny Mango.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Mango, yeah.
Yeah, old the Mankster. And he informed me that one of the Wurzels is dead, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, Adge Cutler, who was the lead man, I think.
Yeah. He said he died the most rock and roll death you can die. He said he was apparently driving on a terrible cocktail of cider and other things, presumably.
Yeah.
Apples and jams.
Yeah.
And he crashed into a tractor. And I wonder, is that true? JM's not winding me up.
Yeah,
I hope the Mango Boy's not having a laugh at me. Is that true? One of the Wurzels died by tractor. Did he? Is that true? So give us a call. What's the number again, Karl?
08700 800 1234.
If so, I'm sorry that I disrespected them. I didn't know.
Could you imagine?
Oh God.
If right? Say if like you're the driver of the tractor, and you kill someone, you go, oh God, I've killed someone, and then you look and it's someone famous.
Yeah, or Adge Cutler. Yeah, go on. What was your point?
No, it's just like not
Terrifying,
only
yeah.
it's like you've killed someone, then you look.
I know what you mean.
And
actually.
what
That
makes
is-
it even
that is
worse? And
terrifying.
what makes it even worse? They were rich.
Yeah.
Oh, that
No,
would
but
be.
say if it was someone who's like really big in the world.
No, that is a good. I quite like that. It's an interesting point.
Oh,
That.
that's your bag. No wonder I can't find what I'm looking for.
Oh right. Well,
As Bono said.
did you bring a bag?
Yeah. Sorry.
Is that under there, Rick?
Sorry about this. I'm not
Play a record.
ignoring.
This is getting a bit sloppy here. No,
it's not. No,
it is, Rick. It's getting sloppy.
It's never got sloppy before. No, I've got a list here because we went to this award ceremony in the week. We were up for an award.
Well, I have to explain it to Karl because basically we were up for an award and it was called it's the Trick Awards. Now, Trick stands for Television and Radio Industries Club Annual Awards, right?
We've never heard of it either.
We never heard of it. It's some kind of like television radio industry club. That's what.
Yeah, that's a
Television
clue,
radio,
isn't there? Yeah.
Exactly. So, but then we don't want to. I'm not trying to slag off the award
No.
because it was, it was a big thing and they really made an effort and it was really nice. Food was brilliant. It was at the Grosvenor House Hotel, really nice do, and lots of industry people in that there. It was really classy.
We got there nice and early, so we were there for a good 4 hours
Before we had
fun.
to sit down, but it was just kind of surreal. It was just a bit weird because it was packed with the cream. I'm literally the cream. Big names, Martin Kemp, one of the first people I saw, came in like big TV, radio industry names, on-screen talent, behind-the-scenes people.
John Barnes
was there.
Beadle was there.
Sir Cliff Richard was there.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so the voice comes on and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of the president of the Trick Awards." And we had to stand up. All of these people had to stand up and give a standing ovation as he walked to his table to Tom O'Connor, former presenter of Crosswits.
You are joking.
No.
He's the president.
And he came out, he told a few gags, sort of like, it was like straight away, it was, old school stuff. I was like, thank the ladies, because, it was nothing without the ladies, all the lovely ladies here. And we're waiting for a joke. No, just thanking the ladies.
Well, you're forgetting that just prior to that, he said grace.
Oh, he said grace.
Before we ate.
Right? It was me, Steve, and Ash, our producer, the little disabled fella, right? And he's there in his wheelchair, and there's me and Steve. We're standing up during
By the way,
grace.
can I just stop you there?
Go on.
Saw someone in the week, and
Sorry, did we bore you?
you just reminded me then about the little producer who was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Last week you said blah blah blah, and our producer who's in a wheelchair got a text from someone saying, "What's happened to you?" They thought you were talking about me.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh.
You're handicapped in a different way.
So go on.
And Tom O'Connor, he said, thank you, God, for...
We thought this was a joke initially. We thought it was going to be like a kind of cheeky gag.
That's why we were laughing out loud.
That's why we were laughing raucously.
But anyway, and then he went, thank you, God, for this, and help those who walk alone. And Ash went, what about those that don't walk at all? He said, I've never been left out of grace before.
So, but we had to kind of like bowed our heads slightly, and did we say amen? I know that we were sort of, a lot of people did.
I'm pretty sure
Cliff, I think, probably chimed in there.
Yeah,
And,
he sang it.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Like Mariah Carey.
So anyway, but before, again, you see, what Ricky's forgotten is before Tom took to the stage, this guy walks up there, I don't know who he is, says, there's a lot of people here this afternoon, it's a wonderful event, but of course there's a load of celebrities as well.
He said, thank you for all the celebrities that have turned up. And then he went, table 77, Mr. Russ Abbott. And we all round of applause. Can we have the spotlight there?
Russ Abbott, by the way, smoking a pipe. Absolutely, he looked like a bit like Barrett Holmes, this hilarious Sherlock Holmes character.
Then he went, table 107, the cast of Bad Girls. Clap.
We'll have to clap.
And then he went, table 5, Alice Beer. Clap.
Slightly smaller clapping.
Yeah. And it's just like, and I thought, when is this going to...
He went through every single celebrity in the room.
And there were about, 100.
Table 53, John Inman, everyone. It's John Inman. Round of applause.
Yeah. And table 70, Mr. Simon Cowell. Boo.
Yeah, there was booing there.
And they all booed him.
That was nice.
Yeah, there was a joke, ironic booing, I think.
Did they cheer for Foxy? Was he on the table?
We didn't see Foxy.
Foxy wasn't there. He was doing his show. When they went up, they won an award, Cowell and Waterman and Chapman.
Table 43, Peter Sissons, everyone. Peter Sissons. Went through every single name. Ricky got so paranoid they might mention him that we kind of legged it upstairs and we're watching from the balconies. They shone the spotlight on our table.
With
and it
empty
was
chairs.
largely empty. That was particularly fun. But then at the end, Sir Cliff got up there, right? Because Sir Cliff was giving out the Lifetime Achievement Award, right? He gets up, he gives this speech. He goes, this is a personal friend of mine, a 7 days a week friend. Lifetime Achievement Award goes to Mrs. Gloria Hunniford. Right, we immediately start thinking, what exactly were her lifetime achievements?
I think living that long.
That's pretty much it. I don't know what it is she's done,
I can
Gloria
tell you
Hunniford.
what she does.
I don't exactly, I know she used to have a Radio 2 show. I don't think that's
We're
on
not
anymore.
dissing her. We're not dissing anyone.
Good luck
We're
to
not taking the mick out of anyone. But
anyway,
it was just a strange event.
But Gloria got taken unawares by this and started to ad-lib a speech, right? And I swear to God, about 12 minutes in, she was telling us how, and I can tell you now if you're interested, her lovely daughter Karen is currently in Australia. It's partly work, it's partly a holiday, Karl, and she's having a whale of a time. But she's not spoken to her for ages.
And then she went, actually, she's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I thought she was going to go, she doesn't call, you do that, you get a blue Peter, and this is how she would.
We thought she was going to get photos out, maybe, start showing it. It was
a nice
bizarre.
event, and everyone there, Henry Cooper was there. So Henry Cooper.
It was so good because every single element as well was sponsored by someone.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the menu. I've got the programme here. And the menu, right, the pudding is sponsored by Electrolux.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever had a pudding sponsored by Electrolux.
I was sponsored by Zanussi.
When everyone was doing the prayers, did you look at them with their eyes shut, like you did at school?
What do you mean?
Well, when you had
Did you look at someone with your eyes shut?
no, like you'd do that. You'd do your hands together,
Yeah.
and you sort of look at people with their eyes shut and think that's what they look like when they're sleeping.
Play record.
Didn't you ever do that?
Table 60. Lisa Tarbuck. That's Corner Shop. Lessons learned from Rocky 1 to Rocky. I love that guitar. That's great. It's real glam rock. That's T-Rex and Bowie. I was going to play some from Ziggy Stardust today, but instead I brought in a different album. I want to play a bit of Bowie. Is that all right?
Oh, of course, yeah, always.
Yeah, bit of Beatles. Still to come up, by the way. With The Education of Karl, last week he did Che Guevara. He did very well. Before that, the week before that, you learned all about Rasputin, didn't you? And this week you've been studying Hitler, haven't you? How does that go? How do you reckon that?
It's a bit tough.
Okay.
I mean, I'll give you the full story later, Steve. Do you know much about him?
No.
It's, they're all linked. All these stories I've been reading, they've all got a similar sort of thing going through them. They have a bit of a tough upbringing. Things aren't going well, and they seem to take it out on other people.
Okay.
But I'll tell you more later.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you can... I don't think Hitler and Che Guevara...
It's the same thing. Che Guevara, when he was a kid, had like asthma. Right? He wasn't an happy kid. Hitler, he
only had one ball.
Well, I was trying to find about
Yeah, seriously, he phoned me up in the week. I said, how's it going? He went, I've just skimmed it. I was looking for the testicle thing. Now, I don't know if they left that out or it's not true.
Right.
He was trying to look up that Hitler has only got one ball.
that. I think they only did it to wind him up. Because it's like, you might be taking over the world, but we're all saying you've only got one testicle.
Sure.
And it's
So did you look in the index and it's sort of Hitler, Adolf, family life, early childhood, testicles? Testicles, absence of.
sort of skimmed through because
One of. Mother, brackets other.
Yeah.
Albert Hall.
Yeah.
the only thing I could find was at one point in like when he was trying to run the place, there was a meeting going on, and somebody had put a bag in the meeting room and it blew up.
Yeah,
and
but
I'm
the
wondering
table
whether it was under the
protected him.
table. Yeah, but.
What, you're wondering if
it
it blew a testicle?
It was. The testicle was under the table.
No, the bag blew off the ball.
No, the ball sack was probably hanging below the protective top, and so that's where he could have lost.
But why would he have only just lost the one?
Because
The way he was sitting.
Cross-legged or something? Sure. Sure. Okay. Well, I mean, again. Last week we had a Che Guevara expert phoned up. Maybe they could. Maybe there's a Hitler expert this time who could maybe phone up and confirm the testicle theory.
Yeah.
What's the number again, Karl?
08700 800 1234.
You need to have at least had a PhD or something.
I don't think we should invite calls about Hitler. I think we're asking for trouble.
No, I'm talking about someone who's done a study of him and who's done a PhD.
Okay.
I'm not talking
All right.
about any old nutter.
And also, Karl's lottery numbers. He's a little bit more confident this week.
Okay, good.
He went there more like it. And I looked at him and I laughed. He went, no, even Suzanne said I'm on more on the right lines there. Is anyone who has done a degree in maths or A-level maths that can bear... Karl won't believe this, right? Karl thinks... I know I was partly doing it to confuse him, just see that look on his face like a cat, right? But there is the chances with a random numbers, for example, the lottery, of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are no greater than any other single combination.
Right.
Now, that's true. I don't mean you're more likely to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 than any other combination put together, but than any other individual combination, they're all equal. It's counterintuitive, I know. I know you think that to get a run of 1 to 6 is less likely than anything else, but it's not. Any named combination... It's not, Karl. If there's a probability...
Well, it's never happened. It's never happened.
Yeah, but there's any number of combinations that
never happened. Every one of those combinations that have come up have happened, and they're just as likely or unlikely as any other combination, right? It's just that you feel intuitively, right, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is less likely than 1, 7, 12, 34, 60. You know what I mean?
Well, I didn't win.
Play record.
Okay.
Wu-Tang Clan, Uzi, on XFM 104.9. Well, here we are, the day before St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, hooray! Brilliant.
Guinness, etc.
I hate English people, I should say, who are obsessed with celebrating St. Patrick's Day. You know, all crazy. It's like Chris Evans used to rave on about it. We're going to Dublin, we're going to get drunk. Wow. It's like, it means nothing to
I think
English
XFM
people,
just did that, to be honest.
Well, yeah, exactly. Just as bad.
Careful, they are employers. You don't want to annoy them. What would we do without this?
Well, that's true. Yeah, have an enjoyable Saturday.
No, this is my favourite 2 hours. You like this, don't you?
Well, I don't know.
We can't do this through May and June.
No, we'll be gone.
We got to record the second series of The Office. What are we going to do, Karl? What are you going to do on a Saturday?
Host the show yourself?
Doing it on my own.
Yeah.
You are not.
Are you seriously thinking of it? Have they asked you to do it?
Everything you...
Why would you not think about it?
Because I've been there, done that.
Next challenge, please.
Yeah. Oh dear. Do you know what St. Patrick did? Why he was revered as a saint and everything? What was he famous for in Ireland? He rid Ireland of something.
I don't know, but I bet he started off with something odd happening in his life.
What, you think he had asthma or something as a kid?
They all do.
And he took it out on what, though?
What did he do? Exactly, he took it out on something. What did he do? What did he rid Ireland of?
St. Patrick.
St. Patrick.
This is why we're going to get crazy and drunk tomorrow. This is why we're also happy to celebrate his anniversary or whatever it is we're celebrating.
That's why we have a crack.
Yeah, this is why we don't bother to celebrate, the birthdays of James Joyce, one of the great novelists of this century, or Samuel Beckett, one of the great playwrights. We actually celebrate this man, St. Patrick, the man who did what?
Don't diss him. He did a good job of it as well, because there's none there now. There are none of these in Ireland. So he rid Ireland of something.
Come on, Karl. Think of something. Just give us an answer.
He went round on a horse whacking them and...
He went on a horse whacking them.
Yeah.
What was it, Karl?
What did he rid Ireland of?
Went on a horse. Foxes. I don't know.
No, you're on the right lines.
On the right lines. It was an animal.
Oh. Bears.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was bears.
Wow. It was snakes.
Right.
And there are no snakes in Ireland.
He rid Ireland of all the snakes.
Yeah.
Who did it here then? Because there isn't that many.
Well, I think he had a stab at it over here as well, but got tired, went back.
Yeah.
That's why there's just a few snakes here. Is it true that there are no snakes in Ireland?
I think it is. I think if someone called this...
And what is there any historical evidence for St. Patrick ridding them of... I mean, how did he do it? Was it like the Pied Piper?
See, I'm not convinced that he did go around because it was snakes, but there are no snakes in Ireland, and that's... Yeah, I don't think the ins and outs. If someone knows the ins and outs, we had a few probability experts and statisticians and maths graduates confirming that indeed I was correct, that the probability of 1 to 6 in a row is no more or less likely than any other single combination in a totally random selection of balls. Which brings us back to Hitler, doesn't it? Because he only had one, didn't he?
Well,
Coming up, we'll be asking Karl all about Hitler, the education of Karl. He's done Rasputin, he's done Che Guevara.
Plus, of course, White Van Karl, where we asked Karl some of the, his opinions on some of the hot potatoes of the week.
You learn as you go along because you've got something about St. Patrick there. That was thrown in for free. That was an extra...
I'll learn you something here. Snakes.
Well, can I just stop you there and I'll teach you something, right?
Oh, go on then.
You don't learn someone something. You teach them something. Yeah. It's not one's passive. You learn.
Ricky, I'm sorry, mate, but I don't think you should be teaching people how to speak or use grammar. I just don't think it's appropriate.
Snake.
It's embarrassing, frankly, because there's so many errors you're making. It's like where to start with you.
Oh,
Snakes, right? You're talking about snakes.
Yeah.
A lot of snakes are born with two heads. It's like a familiar type thing that happens to snakes.
Okay.
Yeah. They take it for granted, don't they?
Right. Snakes born two heads. They'll fight each other for food, even though it's going in the same body.
Isn't that weird?
Were there kids at school that you went with who had two heads?
The snake twins from Moseley.
Was there was kids at your school with two heads? Was that right? What?
No, they had big heads.
Oh, they had big heads
and webbed hands, but they weren't related, and they weren't friends because that would have been too obvious.
Yeah.
He said.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve, listen. Before you came in, right, I sneezed a couple of times. So if I'm allergic, I've still got a bit of a cold, and I said, "Oh God," he went, "Bloody hell!" I was like, "Sorry," and he went, "You know, you can't sneeze with your eyes open." I went, "Yeah." Yeah. And then he was obviously thinking to himself still. And after a pause, he went, "Would your eyes really fly out?" And I started laughing. He went, "No, because has anyone ever done that, do you think? Has anyone ever held someone down, torturing them, and held their eyelids open and gave them pepper and see if their eyes would fly out?" And he said, and then he went, I'm just looking at him again, the silence. And then he went, of his own accord, he just went, "I can't see it happening."
Your song here, Ricky.
Oh, this, Bowie, Sorrow, beautiful. Sorrow by David Bowie. I got that on a compilation today, but I think it's originally off the Pin-Ups album, the one we did all the covers, because he didn't write that, did he? That was the one with him and Twiggy on the front cover, isn't it?
Right.
I haven't had that for ages. I haven't got that. So
sorry, you lost me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you reading a book there?
No, I was just reading the brochure there, the programme, if you will, for the Television and Radio Industries Club Awards that we went to. Incidentally, we lost.
We lost to Linda Green.
Yeah, we didn't win an award.
For the best comedy.
But you might be interested to know that Tom O'Connor is in constant demand for corporate functions both here and abroad, and his client list includes many multinational companies. No mean golfer, Tom took the literary world by surprise in 1992 when his first humorous golf book, From the Wood to the Tees, made the bestseller list. I noticed it didn't take the literary world by storm.
No.
It took it by surprise.
They're going, we can't say storm. We've got to say by surprise, from behind.
But his first humorous golf book, From the Wood to the Tees, made the bestseller list. I don't know if that's just books about golf, that bestseller list. Subsequent successful books include One Flew Over the Clubhouse.
Brilliant. Genius.
Take a Funny Turn. Follow Me, I'm Right Behind You. And Eat Like a Horse, Drink Like a Fish.
Does it mention Celebrity Squares? Didn't he do that?
No.
He did
Crosswits.
Name that tune.
Once, right? It's
Crosswords. Do you remember Crosswords?
It was from the 80s.
It was like a crossword game show.
It was often with Kate Copstick. But I saw one, right? It was on Challenge TV being repeated. And no, Andy Crane. Remember Andy Crane?
Yeah.
He was the link man, and he went, coming up next, Tom O'Connor with Crosswits with well, in my opinion, one of the best Crosswits players of all time, John Junkin.
Oh, who's your favourite Crosswits player?
It's got to be Junkin for me as well. But Copstick was
Barry
all right.
Cryer's bloody good.
Cryer was good. I watched Call My Bluff in the week.
Is this with Toxic and
yeah,
Colin?
it was quite good. I quite enjoyed
I
it.
imagine you could get on there if you want.
I used to watch it with what's his name? Frank Muir.
Yeah.
Frank Muir. Yeah. Oh, that was great.
You're brilliant impressions, because obviously while Bowie was playing, you were doing your infamous Bowie impression, which is the best one you do, actually.
Well, that's just because Karl said, you know what? He said, I'd love to go out for a drink with David Bowie. Of all the people that come in here for sessions, I think he's really good at him. And I said, I think he'd like you as well. That's all. And I just went, hello, Karl. You're strange. You're alien. It interests me. Myself and Ian, I'd like to put you on them. Yeah, I just imagine you and Bowie in a pub somewhere.
Isn't that pretty much the same impression you do when you do Ian Canfield?
No. Ian Canfield's more like that. But not on air. On air, he's sort of like this sort of eloquent 40-year-old capital DJ.
Yeah.
And
but when you talk to him in the studio,
he's slowly turning into Tommy Vance, isn't he? Mm. It's one of his pillars of rock, Canfield. He loves Vance, Lemmy, Diano.
If we run out of material later in the show, which is likely.
Yeah.
Considering we're now talking about Ian
we ran out of it at 1:05.
Exactly. But could I maybe just sort of interview you as David Bowie?
Yeah.
In a sort of humorous sketch?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Maybe it could be the idea that what if like David Bowie was, a cab driver? What would he say? What was some of the funny things he would say?
We saw that what was that in when it said Dead Ringers coming up? If you've ever wondered what it would sound like.
Dead Ringers is this impressionist show. They did it's on Radio 4 and they did a TV version.
Yeah, I saw it.
What did you make of it?
Didn't like it.
It was all right. No, it was just that the write-up in
Radio
one
Times, I
magazine,
think it
the
was.
Radio Times, said, ever wondered what it would be like if Robbie Williams was singing George Formby? Or what would it be like if there was an animal hospital...
was hosted by Anne Robinson.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have wondered. Were those two sketches on there last night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were they like?
You are the
weakest dog or
skink.
something?
No, what was it? It was something like they had to vote off an animal to die or something. It was something like that. Yeah, it was.
This is
all right.
flagging. Quick, do your Bowie again.
Oh, come in here. Look, it's Tin Machine. Now let's play changes. Hello, Iggy Pop, you nutter. Stop cutting your sound. Travis, Flowers in the Window on XFM 104.9. 2 o'clock, halfway through. Oh, it's our favourite time, isn't it? Our favourite time of the week where we come in here and play some records, have a chat.
Ricky, a lot of people are wondering who you are.
I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hi.
And there's little Karl over there. Right. Steve, it's time for...
White Van Karl. We should definitely get some jingles. I think the show sort of lacks jingles, I think.
Yeah.
Noises.
Yeah.
Funny sound effects.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. What's Mr. Nosy Neighbour interested in? Hello, what's going on here? Oh, we should definitely get some pre-recorded comedy noises, Karl, for next week.
That's my job, but unfortunately I'm busy reading about Hitler.
For those that don't know and aren't familiar with this feature, basically The Sun runs a White Van Man column where it asks just people who, every men and women, their views on news stories from the week, and we decided we'd just ask Karl his opinion on some of the same issues. This week...
Not like us to rip off another idea and just use it for our own...
No.
No, but this time...
The White Van Man in the Sun this week is Herbie Crossman from Harrow in Middlesex.
Herbie.
And he's asked his opinion, Karl, and what's yours, on pop idol Will Young admitting he is gay. Come on, Karl.
I don't understand what the big deal is, to be honest.
Okay. No.
Talking to different people about it, and they've said, it could affect the sales, girls won't like him anymore, which I think is rubbish.
Yeah, because it finished George Michael's career, didn't it?
Well, yeah, and I was thinking when I was growing up, right?
And Freddie Mercury.
I was into Kim Wilde, right?
Sure.
Now...
And her kids.
You're not going to tell me
America.
she's gay, are you?
No, but if they said, she's a leather,
yeah,
right? I wouldn't say, right, that's it, I'm taking kids in America back to the shop, I'm disgusted.
Sure.
I liked her.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever going to meet her and marry her and that, so what does it matter?
Yeah.
Will Young, he's a good voice, he's gay, a lot of gay people in the world.
Georgie boy was gay, I guess.
There you go.
Nothing more and nothing less. The kindest guy I ever knew.
So
Do your Bowie.
No big deal.
That's one of your favourite songs, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Kidding of Georgie Parts 1 and 2, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you make of the police protesting to Parliament over reforms?
That's not the band. Before you say.
Right, what's all that about?
Okay, well, the police have had various kind of gripes and grumbles which they've taken to Parliament, try and get them sorted.
Like what?
Well, it could take ages, basically.
They don't like the pointy helmets anymore.
Yeah.
They want flat caps.
They feel that their powers are restricted. They get a lot of bad press. They're not being paid well. They're only resourced.
They actually demonstrated, didn't they, outside?
I think they may have done, yeah.
Well, at least they're doing something about it instead of just sitting there moaning. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
They're going to the top, trying to sort it out.
Yeah.
I admire that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you make of the police generally? Are they doing a good job?
They've woke me up a couple of times at about 4 a.m. when I was a kid.
Right, was that because they were looking for your brother in his tank?
Yeah. Did a Sherman tank just come through here?
Yeah.
No, my mates nicked cars and gave my name and all that.
Right. Were they friends of yours? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you make of fears that dumped Britney Spears? She's been dumped by her boyfriend. There's worries that she may be cracking up, Karl. You concerned?
What are the signs?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm just reading from this section, but I would assume that she's obviously showed signs of depression, maybe.
She'll be all right. I remember, Zoe Harris, when she sort of got bored of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Get over it. I don't even think about her now.
What? And how long did it take you? How long did it take you to get over Zoe?
Zoe Harris.
How long did it take?
To be honest, right, it was like one of my first girlfriends, and she was a pain. I remember I went out with her because she wouldn't stop hassling me, right?
Yeah.
And I remember
A good reason to fall in love with her.
Oh, go on,
I
then.
never talked to her, and then the bit that really got me, I thought I half liked her, and then I remember, right, we were at a school party, sort of infant school.
Infant school?
Right.
Are you sure it wasn't junior school?
Well, it's on the cusp.
Yeah.
Like when you're about to leave infants and go to the next one.
Yeah.
And she was crying because
You were saying, I don't think we should move in together.
She was crying.
She was crying.
Oh, was she?
Had you
She
stolen
must have
her
been-
milk?
She must have been nearly 6. Why didn't she grow up?
No, she was crying because somebody had stood on a dress and put a bit of an hole in it. And I said, oh, for God's sake.
I can't stand this. Oh,
So
God.
you-
I just think him.
So you gave her a slap.
I just think of him like 6, like with clogs and a flat cap, going slightly bald, going, for Christ's sake, woman, come on. Oh,
Light my pipe.
I finished it because all her mates were saying, come on, Karl, she's upset. And I was like, oh, whatever. So I saw her again.
hold on, though. Wait a minute. What do you mean all the mates were saying, look, come on, Karl? They were 6, weren't they?
Yeah, but they were saying, come on, she's crying. Help her out.
And,
Like, look,
and you
she's-
did nothing?
She's not injured. Got a hole in her skirt.
Yeah, but she was upset and you were her boyfriend.
Well,
So what did you do? Tell me the story. Where were
It
you?
didn't work out.
You were at some kind of school do. There was a hole in her
That's why
dress.
it didn't work out, he said.
Do you treat your current girlfriend in the same way? This callous disregard for someone seeing?
His current girlfriend does not tread on her dress, does she? Oh, she didn't.
So as far as you're concerned, what was her name? Sarah?
Zoe.
Zoe Harris. You just felt like, well, if she's going to make a whinge about, a silly little hole, screw her.
Yeah.
You're all heart, Karl.
What would you have done?
I'd have gone over there and give her a lovely kiss.
You wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
We were playing Dead Arm. In the corner.
Ask him another question.
Okay, very final thought then. What do you say to the fact that a judge has decided that we, the general public, have a right to know about stars' flings? Basically, this is an excuse. This is basically saying, should papers be allowed to print tittle-tattle about celebrities?
Oh, this is.
Providing it's proven true.
Oh, this is something about, isn't it, a Division 1 football or something? It definitely had of Premiership football had an affair, and it is true, but he's trying to keep privacy. And the judge said, well, it's not for us to censor the press over things that are true. Right. It's up to the general public to either boycott or not, that publication.
What do you think, Karl? What about all this, exposing, going through the, the bins of celebrities?
It's not right, is it? But
No.
people are interested in it and buy the papers to read it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like I said to you the other week, everyone has a go at Beckham for not being that bright. But at the end of the day, he's a good footballer. It doesn't really matter what goes on off the pitch, does it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But what if you were
I
a
don't
celebrity and they sort of splashed over the front page the fact that you just, didn't care
Left
less
my
for Zoe
girlfriend
Harris
because-
Yeah.
and her torn dress?
Zoe Harris is still upset.
Yeah, they dug her out, The night Karl Pilkington reduced me to tears.
Nah, I haven't done anything that bad.
Sure.
I won't be worried.
Did you win the dead arm contest?
No. I was thinking about that the other day. Do you think there's a chance I could get blood clots in later life?
Did you play that a lot?
Yeah, a hell of a lot.
Did you ever do it, but like kind of headbutting?
No.
Okay, because that would have explained something.
Dead arms.
Sure.
Anymore?
No, that's it, Karl.
It was with people's blessing, was it? You had to give them a go?
Yeah.
And you played it with girls?
No.
All right.
Oh, my mates.
Right.
So you were
okay.
playing dead arms while she was off dancing and getting her hole ruined.
Yeah.
You romantic, you.
That's great. And you haven't changed a bit, have you? You still do that to this day, don't you? At functions and events. Oh, dear. Well,
dear.
what track we got here? You've brought in a track.
Yes, I
history.
just thought I'd dig out some old Elliott Smith. I've quite enjoyed his work, and this was a previous single and the first track from his album Figure 8, Son of Sam.
XFM 104.9.
Sorry, I was going to back
go on.
announce that track and just mention it was Elliott Smith and the track Son of Sam.
Well, I think I'd just better ask Karl a couple of quick questions about Hitler. Then we can get on with our lives.
Okay, we can tick that particular box.
Yeah, put that. Yeah. Okay, Karl.
Put
Okay,
that particular dictator to bed.
It's week 3 of his education. You've nailed Rasputin and Che Guevara. I don't want to lose complete sight of those. I'll maybe ask you a couple of those in the week just to so you keep your mind on it. But Hitler.
Tell us the story.
What have you learned?
Do you want to ask some questions?
No, not really. Just sum it up in a minute. What do you
Can't do it
think?
in a minute.
Well, can I ask some questions then? Where was he born?
Austria.
Tell us about his early life.
Right, he was a young lad.
Brilliant. What in his early life? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name? His mum was his dad's second cousin, which is a bit weird.
Yeah.
That is weird.
They had 5 kids.
Steve's going, yeah, it's usually first cousin where I come from. Oh, that's unfair, isn't it? There's no need for that.
There was 5 kids, but only 2 of them, including Hitler, including him and his sister, survived. The others died at an early age.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, so they grew up, and the mum died and the dad died and that, and he thought, oh, what am I going to do? Because he didn't do well at school, didn't have many qualifications.
No.
Liked art.
Did he have a GCSE in history?
Liked art, right? And then, so he said, right, I'm going to go out to Munich. I missed a bit out, actually. Jewish people were in Austria. He didn't really like them.
Okay.
He thought they got, special treatments and stuff, and just didn't like them. So he went to Munich, and he joined the army.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And he was in the army, and he got injured.
Right.
So he went to hospital, and whilst he was in hospital, the World War I ended, and he was like, oh, God, I want to...
I was enjoying that.
Yeah, so... Don't, because you're breaking the concentration.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm not even sure I want to join in on this one, just in case.
Okay.
Right, go on.
Right, so...
He was in hospital.
He's in hospital. It gets a bit better. He's never that fit, though. He's one of these blokes who was always ill. Was on something like 30 tablets a day or something. Comes out of there, joins some other army.
Right.
God, I knew it all this morning.
I can see it running to ground. I just see his face going, I'm not nailing the fact, am I? And joined another army, and he was...
Listen, let's try and help you. So
Here's a good bit. I remember this bit. He thought that war to men, right, was like childbirth is to women. That's how important he thought he was.
All right.
Right? So it's like, you fight for 9 months, and at the end of it, you own something, right?
Yeah.
So... He goes on and all that. He's in Berlin.
Yeah.
And he's fighting his way through, trying to take over countries and that. And he does he do Berlin? Does he?
Sorry, wait a minute. Is he Chancellor yet?
What year is it? 35.
So
where are you?
Let's skip the kind of climb to power. Then he's now the dictator of Germany.
Right, he's in charge. Yeah. And this is when he gets his own back on the Jewish people and that, and he's got his own little armies, and he's setting fire to Jewish businesses and all this. And anyway, cut a long story short,
Please do.
When he came to fighting Britain, came a bit sort of unstuck.
Yeah.
Right, started fighting.
Not so easy, is it? This world domination, Adolf.
Britain was there. France was helping out.
Yeah.
Americans were helping out.
Yeah.
So oh God. So
a bit late, but yeah.
He goes into a bunker in Berlin.
Yeah.
And it's all kicking off.
Yeah.
And apparently, Germany sort of surrenders.
Yeah.
Says it's all over. Forget it. We can't beat you. He was really annoyed with this, and he thought, I can't show my face around here. So
because it would be embarrassing.
He's with his missus, who nobody knew was his wife.
Right.
Eva, in this bunker.
Yeah.
And so he said, I've had enough of this. He shoots himself.
Yeah.
She poisons herself, and the chauffeur buries them or something, or burns them.
Right.
And in all the time he was in charge, 50 million people died.
So that's 1918 to 1945.
Yeah.
Between
it felt like that.
Between Travis and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Next week. That's fantastic.
That's remarkable. I have to say that you sort of lost your grasp somewhere along the line, because you started off confidently, but you lost your
I've had a really busy week, and last night I was whizzing through it.
Sure.
And then this morning I woke up, and Suzanne had been away for about 3 days, right?
Yeah.
I hardly spoke to her. She's been busy, I've been busy. First thing to say when I wake up, just ask me some stuff on Hitler.
You are romantic. That's great.
That's how stressful it's getting. But I knew it all this morning, honestly.
No, but that's fine. I think you've summed up you've done that. Right, just for a bit of balance, I've got your next week's homework. It's the same series. There's little books. There's tiny little books, just 3 inches long by 2 inches wide.
Crammed with so much information there.
Winston Churchill. There you go. You'll enjoy that. Yeah?
I'm getting a bit bored now, though. This is what happened in school.
Think of the listeners.
Did really well in infants. Once got to secondary, lost interest.
Was it the breakup between you and Harris?
And Zoe. I'm wondering if you spiralled into something there.
Yeah, because it's like all these other, these men of history. They always had sort of things happen in their early childhood, didn't they? Maybe yours is the Zoe Harris dress incident.
Well, let's just refer to it as the Zoe incident.
Yeah.
From now on. Yeah.
Winston Churchill, the bit I left out in the Hitler story, Hitler was scared of this man.
Yeah.
And I can tell you something else about Winston Churchill.
Go on.
He said he can remember being in the womb. And he was born in a public toilet.
Play a record. PJ Harvey, This Is Love, XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl. Karl called me in the week, Steve. I know we sort of ban each other from speaking to him.
What, you seem to have just disobeyed that rule every
I
week?
can't believe it. I just can't resist it. But he said, just saw a programme. He said, what's that big balloon that blew up? And the newsreader was going all mental. And I went, is that the Hindenburg? He went, yeah. Oh, I said it was a big Zeppelin. He went, yeah. He went, what happened? I said, it was helium, wasn't it? And I went, yeah. I said it was just a huge Zeppelin full of helium. And what caused us, I don't know, it could be a spark or anything, but of course it just goes, because it's helium so flammable. And he went, now they didn't show this in the documentary, but did all their voices go funny? And I went, what? He went, well, no, if you take a little bit of a little balloon of helium, your voice goes funny. So if that was like millions of gallons of it and it blew up in the air and it was in the atmosphere, you'd be talking like Donald Duck, he went. So imagine that.
God.
But what I liked about it, I said, this wasn't in the documentary.
No, it's an oversight. Maybe just time was against them. They didn't have time to explain
Just like that book about Hitler didn't have his one ball incident.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
It's annoyed me, that.
What was?
The old Hitler book.
Why?
Just because I knew it all. Do you know what I mean? I was cycling in today. I was like, going through it all again.
Yeah.
Had it all in my head.
But that's why you should know something as opposed to just cram and have a piece of trivia that's precariously sort of teetering on the edge.
But what I don't understand,
you know what I mean?
It's well, you're not interested by it.
That's what I mean.
It's one of the most fascinating things.
You know all about things you're interested in. You never forget them, do you? You know.
Yeah, I was a bit interested in it, but like I say, I mean, I'm cramming all this into a normal week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go on and, you watch telly and that in the week. You've got loads of leisurely time. I'm sort of using the only little bit of rest time I have to learn, as well as trying to do all my other stuff.
Yeah.
He texted me yesterday about Hitler. He went, stop making me read this heavy shit. He said, I've seen in the back of this book, there's one on Elvis.
No, I mean, it is interesting, but not when you have to read it. Do you know what I mean?
Right. But do you think you'd have read it in your leisure time?
To be honest?
No, you wouldn't have.
I wouldn't.
No.
What do you do in your leisure time?
I like, going out for food and that.
Right. Foraging. What do you mean going out for food? They come have a little hole and go
hunting.
Yeah. This is Karl. He's hungry. He knows he has to get to the greasy spoon by 11. Wow.
Many of Karl's close friends have never made it across this road.
There was a zebra crossing installed just for the safety of Karl. Beep, 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 beep. Can I have a bacon butty? And Karl is enjoying his wow, but he has to get back.
His girlfriend's asked for one as well. She's home with a PlayStation 2.
Wow.
Oh.
Beep.
All right, Rick. It was David Bowie impressions earlier. Now it's just a selection of crazy sound effects, like that guy in Police Academy.
You said you wanted some. He hasn't got time to make them up. He's reading about Hitler. You heard him.
Do a machine gun or a helicopter.
We've got to do all our own sound effects. Oh. So do you want a week off? Do you not want to learn about Winston Churchill? Why don't you read it if you want to, and just if you get interested, then read on. I think
because that's what I did with school, and it didn't work.
No, you decided you didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
but hasn't that taught you something?
Can't we just do it like a TV series? It doesn't go on forever. We've done 3 weeks. Give it a rest now for the summer.
Yeah, because most series last for 3 weeks.
Well,
Yeah. Okay. What's your favourite subject in the world? What's your favourite thing in the world?
I would have said, what, at school, like?
No,
Just
just in
nowadays in
life.
life.
What are you interested in?
I like little interesting bits, like
Sentences.
Atlantic Ocean. It's got 17 quadrillion gallons of water in it.
Right.
Well, that's interesting without having to read a book. And stuff.
Why is that interesting though? What are you basing that on? What when you think of 17 quadrillion?
It's a lot, isn't it?
What are you imagining?
Just like a big wave. Imagine how much water.
Yeah.
Well, what's your subject then?
I don't know. No, it's just that when I said what's your favourite subject, you gave me a fact that is so.
No, but that sort of thing. Like I said to you before, you were talking about monkeys, and I said, do you know that if you give a monkey a childbirth tablet, it works on it the same way because it's kitted out the same.
Could I just say something? We weren't talking about monkeys.
What were we talking about then?
You know, we were talking about something completely different, and you went, if you give a monkey a childbirth pill, it works. That's what you said.
No, we were talking about monkeys.
We were talking about sneezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you went, if you give a monkey childbirth pills, it works. That's.
Well, we were talking about interesting things about sneezing, and I remembered an interesting fact about monkeys. So.
Anyway, Abbas 2, brilliant. What did happen to that bloke who used to make the sound effects in Police Academy?
I don't know.
He was brilliant, wasn't he? Do you remember him?
I don't remember
Was he
him.
called Hightower?
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah?
If anyone knows, give us a call.
God.
Girls and boys.
You embarrassed yourself then, Gervais.
What?
Well, we've had a number of calls and emails
Yeah.
pointing out that the Hindenburg disaster was not because the Zeppelin was filled with helium,
Hydrogen.
but filled with hydrogen.
Right, okay. Well, I thought about that when he told me in the week.
Well, yeah, but
I assumed he must have got that off from the documentary. So it just went up. So that's probably why the voices didn't go
That was
funny.
probably why it didn't feature in the documentary.
Yeah.
But it seems to me we should have thought of that. I mean, like, it's school fetes and stuff where they're like filling little balloons with helium.
Yeah.
You know, there'd be all kinds of horror stories if they were just, just blowing up, left, right and centre. I don't think you can just blow helium up like that, can you?
What?
Isn't that the point? What I'm
do you
saying is it can't be as potentially lethal as hydrogen, helium.
Well, like, hydrogen isn't as bad as helium.
No, helium's not as bad as hydrogen.
I don't know what you're saying, because the Hindenburg was hydrogen.
Yeah, and I'm saying, why did we think it was helium? That's crazy. You go to school fetes and stuff with like little kids, and they're filling up little balloons with helium. They wouldn't have big canisters of helium, a charity event or a small kind of bring and buy sale if it was deadly.
Yeah, but it's not as big. I mean, when you buy those balloons at a fair, it's not as big as that big.
But presumably
balloon.
it's still flammable, is it?
But it wasn't the fact how dangerous the rare gas was, or it was the fact that it was made of this thing that caught fire and just went. There was nothing. A hole in it would have been as bad. It just burnt quickly and fell to the ground because the hydrogen or helium escaped. It wasn't. It was irrelevant that what the gas was, wasn't it?
I thought it was that there was supposed to be some kind of explosion.
Well, I don't know what it was, but the point is because the outer thing was so thin, right? The gas inside escaped and it fell to the ground.
So it just fell to the ground like when you've popped a balloon.
Well, not
It didn't
quite.
sort of go.
It didn't like flap all over the place and make a zany noise.
But I tell you what, because when I was looking on the internet in the week for it, I was like trying to get a bit more info on it. Guess how many balloons it would take, helium balloons, to lift a human up?
Go on.
6,000.
Should we do it?
If you want.
Brilliant. Next week, that's got to be a challenge.
Can we? Is there a sort of balloon company or some sort of party company that are willing to sponsor us to lift Karl
into the air with
Right.
helium balloons?
10 feet off the ground where we're tether him down, right? Is there someone willing to pay for 6,000 balloons to try and lift
We
Karl
can maybe
up?
get some kind of company to sponsor it. I'm thinking like Electrolux, if they're going to sponsor puddings.
If they're going to sponsor puddings, and celebrities, Russ Abbott, they will sponsor Karl being lifted. Heat magazine, come on. They're big selling, very successful magazine there, and they know about Karl because they've mentioned him. Heat magazine, can we have a heat balloon? Yeah? Oh,
6,000's an awful lot,
into the
Rick.
air. It's the heat 6,000 Karl challenge. Lift Karl 10 feet into the air.
Yeah.
Come on.
What about if it was Karl and Dr. Fox? We could get 2 different balloons.
I think we need a lot more than 6,000.
a lot more for Fox, isn't it?
Mix, yeah. The heights. I just explained what I'm laughing at, right? We just had a call from someone saying his company would sponsor Karl, right, to be raised by all these balloons if he could have a walk-on part in the office. And we immediately went, we're worried about that sort of thing. You can't really promise that artistic, And I was worried about the legality of it as well. How can you promise someone that for personal gain that's a private and all that sort of stuff, right? And I went, I don't know. And anyway, put the phone down to him and Karl went... I love the fact you're more effing worried about that than me being raised 30 feet in the effing air. You started getting scared, did you? Are you worried about it?
Well,
you're quite excited about the idea of the challenge, aren't you?
I like the idea, but I want like...
Why do you like the idea, Karl?
What if it went all wrong and we're there going, the humanity of it?
I think we need
Karl,
to get...
he's just...
And the rope would pull out my trousers and
Oh, no, it's definitely got to be Dr. Fox if that's going to happen.
God. We've got to do this.
So hang on, but let's just think about because wait a minute, we say this, but we'd have to get all kinds of health and safety people involved.
No, we wouldn't.
Of course, we can't just start raising it in the air.
No, you're allowed to do it on private land, aren't you?
Look what happened to the Hindenburg.
No, but I was just saying there was lots of people died. Listen, look, all we do is we get someone, right?
But what if he gets loose and he just floats off into the air?
And he meets his magpie that he lost. He used to peck his grifter.
Balloons.
His balloons.
So
I'm so excited about this. Listen, we've got to do this.
No, but
please.
shut up a minute. Let's just stop and think about it. It's 60,000 balloons.
No, it's not. It's 6,000.
But 6,000 balloons, that's a lot of balloons.
No, it's not. No, it's
don't
not.
be silly.
For sponsorship, people pay for... no, listen, it's worth it. There must be a company out there that'll pay for this, just so we can film
Hang
it.
on, is there not an easier way of just getting one big balloon? Then the challenge is there's no challenge.
No, it's got to have people coming up and hooking balloons. It'd be like Buckaroo. And the person who puts the balloon that actually raises him 10 feet wins a prize or something.
So hang on, so what we've got each person with like 500 balloons.
Yeah.
That's mad. Can you imagine how many balloons that is? That's ludicrous.
6,000. Yeah.
That's an awful lot of balloons.
I don't know, there must be someone that could do this. Oh, look, people have walked on the moon, for Christ's sake. We can raise Karl Pilkington with some balloons.
Yes, but they had a NASA budget. We've got XFM behind us.
Yeah, but balloons... Balloons are cheap. You can get about a pack of 25 for about 150.
Right, fine.
No,
true.
Yeah, the helium though, Karl. You can't just attach yourself to a pack of balloons.
No, but...
What, you think we blow them all up?
With helium.
Right.
Off you go.
But then we can do something with the balloons, can't we? Like release them afterwards.
We'll release them back into the wild. Brilliant. As a sign of peace. Fly, my pretties, fly.
Listen,
be free.
I am so excited. I have not been so excited about when I thought that Robin Ince was going to stay in my cupboard for £1,000. Look, we've got to do
6,000 balloons. I don't think it's going to happen. That's an awful lot of balloons, and I just don't see how we can tether them all to Karl. He's a small man.
No, but
because you have them at different lengths, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Karl knows.
Can you think about the logistics of this?
Someone must know. There must be a company. There's a bloke willing to do it. I know he doesn't know the technology of it. He's willing to sort of stand back.
And the company just has access to helium like that.
No, we can do this. Come on, London.
Someone's done
Londoners.
It was on the internet already, so someone obviously has done it.
Yeah.
So
they didn't say, we can't get hold of the balloons.
No, they probably worked it out, didn't they?
Karl, you're more excited about this than anything else, about your education, about your exam results. You're so excited.
And we'll have a little rope. We're like flying a little kite, a little Karl. We're like, let's go,
Karl, what will you wear? Like a one-piece jumpsuit?
Yeah, it'd be lovely.
With sponsorship all over it?
Oh, it'd be great. You're like Jackie Stewart, and just as you go up your little face, oh my God, I'm not going to sleep until this is done. This is the most exciting thing ever.
Only 10 feet.
10 feet, yeah. And
we need some kind of rope to sort of tether you to the ground. Yeah. We don't want you sort of flying off.
This is going to be great. And he'd have a little crash helmet and everything, and little Dee boppers on the crash helmet, like he's a little flying ant.
Definitely.
We give him a little, oh my God, can we give you an outfit, like little wings and everything?
Can we paint your face with like children's paint?
I'm not doing all that.
Why?
Oh, because that would be silly.
Oh, please, Karl, do this. Do it. We'll do it for charity. We'll do it for charity, yeah?
All right.
Yeah? Oh, this is
We'll do it for
brilliant.
children in need.
Please, just phone in if you can help us. Lift Karl up 30 feet. Let's say 30
I think
feet.
it has to be a decent...
Yeah, it has to be a decent height.
Is there a world record? Because we want to break that if we're
I want to break that. What is the world record for raising a man by balloons?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, let's just finalise details here. We've got...
I'm so excited.
Email address, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
What's the number?
The number, Karl?
08700 800 1234.
Lift Karl.
Give it again.
Lift Karl.
08700 0700 800 1234.
Sponsored by Heat Magazine
And
or something.
maybe even if you've just got an idea about how we might be able to organise it, how we might be able to get it done, if you've got contacts, anything, just get in touch, give us some information.
Oh, that'd be great. I'm going to play a Beatles track for song for the lovers.
Oh, man.
It's off the Help album, and it's You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. Oh, just think of his little face as he goes up. Well, XFM, it's nearly the end of the show. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant. We've enjoyed your company. Karl, we're going to try and get Karl in the air. Anyone that can help us, take him up with helium balloons. Our friend Johnny Mango called again, and apparently the record's 11,000 feet. Karl is getting a little bit nervous.
Yeah, the world record is 11,631 feet raised by hot air balloons.
Yeah.
How tall's Canary Wharf?
It's 11,631 feet. Exactly. I don't know, Karl.
Is it how much higher?
It's a long way.
More.
I'm not doing that.
Because I'm like 6 foot something.
Yeah, think of that. Just look at Steve.
All right.
Yeah.
But you can change your record. You could say, well, the sort of balloons are the one with Mickey Mouse on it or something.
Yeah, could I just say something? That man did 11,000 feet, but he wasn't naked. All right?
Come on, Karl.
Your 30 feet will be the world record for naked ballooning. Yeah? Think about it.
All right, it's for charity.
Well, thank you for listening, everyone. We are going to raise Karl. And after Karl said, and just to think, my teacher said I'd never be a high flyer. So this is your chance, Karl, to shine, to fly.
Steve.
It'll be brilliant. This is a final song for the ladies. Belle and Sebastian, we've not heard them for a while. This is from, it's actually a B-side or a triple side or whatever you call it. Track 3 on a single called Jonathan David. This is the beautiful The Loneliness of the Middle Distance Runner. Play.
Goodbye. Our Freaks Electric, Richard Eccles, Sugar Babes on XFM 104.9, Steve.
Absolutely.
I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello.
Karl, the producer. 7 minutes past 1 of a Saturday, and what a lovely Saturday it is.
It is indeed.
It looks nice and bright, but it's deceptive because I went out and I just had a t-shirt on and I had my jumper on me. I got out there and I thought, this is chilly. I had to pop the jumper on.
Oh, no.
So, just be if you're just looking out the window thinking, I'll go outside, pop a jumper on or a jacket because it looks nice, but it is a little bit colder than it looks.
Rick, can I ask, were you wearing the jumper around your waist, tied with a knot, or did you have it over your shoulders, like maybe you just jumped off a yacht?
I popped it round my waist, and I'll tell you what, I tucked my t-shirt in for neatness and comfort.
Lovely.
But I know that's a little bit dorkish, so I was trying to hide the belt line.
Okay.
So then I popped the jumper on, didn't have to worry about it.
Did you go with the double knot?
I didn't.
Just a single knot, because that can loosen if you're not careful, especially if you're carrying bags or you're busy on the tube.
I know, but I wouldn't mind that as long as I didn't lose it. As long as I saw it loosen and fall, I'd pick it up and
You'd be pretty devastated if you
and
fell
then
off and
clean
did
it.
this.
Not in the washing machine, no.
on.
I'd pop it in a cold wash soak, right,
Okay.
and then leave it out on a few towels or something, or pop it over the radiator.
So what's the problem with putting it in a hot wash?
Well, it can cause shrinkage.
Oh, no.
So coming up, we've got loads of tunes. We're going to be playing some of the best bands around, some new ones, some old ones. Might even play some Adaman. We don't know yet.
Let's have Badly Drawn Boy, though, shall we, Karl? Current single.
Badly Drawn Boy there. Silent Sigh. Is that the one with the duck? That video?
Yes. Very good video.
Apparently he stopped wearing his hat around because he keeps getting recognised. And he's going to not wear his hat when he doesn't want to get recognised.
Okay.
Maybe pop it in the wash.
Be careful. Let's just have a kind of a light cold rinse.
Yeah, light cold rinse, soak it, right, because it's woolen, right, and then just leave it out on a towel, or maybe in near the immersion heater,
Sure.
or over a radiator, or even
on
the
a
sun.
radiator. Is that a problem?
It can cause that sort of damaging to the
Okay.
fibres of the wall.
He had a kid last week.
Did he?
Yeah.
Who did?
Badly Drawn Boy.
Oh, right. Okay.
Badly Drawn Little Boy. He's going to call it, isn't he?
Brilliant, Rick.
Yeah.
Well done.
It's a sort of satire.
I'd like to see that as a headline in a
Stand and
tabloid.
deliver, oi, oi, money, your life. Now, going on.
Oh,
Karl,
can we
don't
explain why
panic.
that's funny?
Don't panic, Karl. I'm a professional. Don't worry.
What's your concern, Karl?
What's your concern?
Nothing.
Tell us.
No.
You can say.
I can't.
You can.
This is so unprofessional.
It's what? What have we done?
What, talking about wool?
Right.
Come on, Karl, what's the problem?
What's the problem?
You say.
He's great, and
He's so scared. Come on, Karl, tell us.
I don't know all the ins and outs, so I don't want to get into it.
What?
The thing.
No,
Well,
you
look,
can-
you can't. People are perplexed now. What's the thing, Karl?
What's the thing? What are you worried about? Say.
Is it an email that's been received by the head of
Yeah,
XFM?
you've got the email open.
you can
have the
talk
ring.
about. You can say what it.
Okay, let me just
without,
see.
you know.
I don't understand it. Please know that under under a ruling at the Old Bailey, any reference to Adamant's state of mental illness in any news report will constitute a breach of the ruling and therefore lead to serious action from his lawyers.
That's right, and that's true. That's subject we can't talk about that. You can play his records and
sing his classic songs.
Sing songs.
Yeah, it's best just to leave it, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what Karl was a little bit worried. There's no way I was going to mention that or influence anything, and I totally agree with the law, so don't panic, Karl.
That should have never been sent to you.
Why?
Because it's like, accidents happen.
Go on then.
When things like that happen, right, you've been told not to mention it.
Yeah.
And you're like a little kid.
Yeah.
And once things are in your head, it's difficult not to mention it. I mean, when I was a kid, right, my mum's sister Hazel was seeing another bloke. It's weird because she's a lesbian now. That's really weird.
That must have been an interesting Christmas.
But anyway, she was seeing this bloke, and he looked like Ken Dodd, apparently.
He looked like Ken Dodd.
Looked like Ken Dodd. So people said, don't mention it because it gets on his nerves when you like meet him and you go, oh god, you look like Ken Dodd. So I said, all right, his name's Will or whatever. And I was introduced to him. First thing I said, nice to meet you, Ken.
Did you do it as a joke, or did you?
No, because when you know, he's like, I'm not allowed to say that. I can't say that. I mustn't say that. Can't. And then I saw him. I thought, Jesus, does look like him. It just came out.
Was it Dodd who turned her into a lesbo? Do you think?
Well, he wasn't a good-looking bloke, so possibly.
She started going out with Esther Ranson though, which is weird, out of the frying pan.
What was the story with the lesbianism then? How did she announce that to everyone? What age was she when she realised?
Well, I mean, we're not a close family. Do you know what I mean? We're not a sort of family who keeps in touch with everyone. And I think my mum called her up one Christmas and sort of said, how's
the Diddy men?
How's Will?
How's Nutty Ash?
And she said, oh, no, I'm not. I don't do that anymore. I'm knocking about with Sandra or whatever.
Right.
And it was like, oh, right.
Not big butch Sandra with the big earrings and the skinhead. He used to live down the road from you.
I don't know.
He used to get Doc Martens wholesale. That's Sandra.
But she had a haunted house.
Go on.
Who, Sandra?
No, Hazel.
Right. Is this before she was a lesbian or not?
Before.
Okay.
And there was a bike in the hall and the pedals used to go backwards.
There was a what in the hall?
That's handy, isn't it? That's great. Don't worry, we won't do anything.
So I want to know about the haunted house. There was a bike in the hall. And
there was a bike in the hall and the pedals used to go backwards on their own. And also shoes used to stick to the wall or something.
Did they?
Yeah.
Shoes used to stick to the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds like
that's a haunted house.
A hell of a household. Yeah. Oh dear.
Brilliant.
Maybe she should clean the walls.
Oh, I love this one. Classic.
There she goes. The Lars, and there she goes. What a great start to a show. We've had 20 minutes of some of the best banter, chatter and music and anecdote anywhere on the dial.
You're damn right. High five.
Yeah.
Sweet, man, sweet.
Oh, what are we talking about? Well, I love that track. It's lovely. They've got a bit of the Liverpool gene, Paul, haven't they? That sort of doddy. You know what I mean? I like the Scouse sort of look. The Cilla Black and the Stan Boardman.
Yeah, it's particularly unique to Liverpool.
It's sort of happy in teeth and ears. And,
it's happy in teeth and ears.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant description.
Yeah.
Happy in teeth and ears.
Yeah, that's just three of my friends. Yeah. Now, we've got a great track lined up, haven't we, Karl, that I've brought in? Simon and Garfunkel. Now, I'm not ashamed. As you know, me and Steve aren't worried about being part of a trend or being trendy or jumping on about it. Steve particularly doesn't worry about looking good or No, I'm saying as a compliment. He doesn't worry about walking along like that or
I'm looking good.
No. But I'm saying you don't mind the insults freak boy or goggle eye or
swore off a duck's back, mate.
Do you know what I mean? Or a new phrase that's been coined because of Steve's face, walk off a frog's back.
Who's saying that?
Just a lot of you, a lot of friends and that. But I mean,
my friends.
Yeah, a lot of the people.
Can you name names or?
I can't really.
You made promises, you can't.
I can't. I can't really.
Pass anyone up.
I think it's the Kagul.
Looks good.
It does look good.
It's waterproof, Rick, and it's also stylish. I wear nothing underneath, so it's tight to the skin. It gets sticky in damn weather.
Is that why you sort of rustle?
Sexy. But what's all the? Is there abuse? What's this?
No. They just say
because I'm a pretty trendy guy. But I, as you say, I cut my own trend. I make my own style. That. Consequently, the pipe. You don't feel that's an affectation?
I don't think. I think because you're young and tall, the pipe looks a little bit silly.
Go on.
I mean, I know you're worried about because we've already lost the trilby.
Well, I'm worried because pipes are going to die out. I mean, this is the problem. That there's no young people now who are taking up the pipe as a smoking device.
Is there anyone under the age of, what should we say?
Oh, we've said this before, and I
25?
don't think there was no one. I think there was some nutty old woman who phoned in and said, I smoke a pipe. But I'm talking about, because years ago it was like an Oxbridge student, you'd be at Cambridge or something, you'd have a lovely pipe, tweed suit, you'd be there studying. That was, and that was the young gent always smoked a pipe, but no one is now. I'll tell you this, in the year 2050, there'll be no pipes. They won't exist.
Well, I think all drugs like nicotine and alcohol will be banned, and we won't be allowed to think our own thoughts. We'll have to live in the sewers like eating rat burgers.
That's
or
true
something,
enough.
won't we?
Yeah.
And we'll have to download our memories or something. Probably.
Oh God!
And
I'll be a rebel, Rick. I'll just be down there listening to jazz.
No, you won't.
Yeah.
You'll just have a little chip in the back, and you'll be going out with a big fat man with a big toga on, and you'll be touching him.
But will I think he's a beautiful woman?
Yeah, you will.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll be fighting with the Rebel Underground.
No, you won't.
I will.
No.
I will. I'll be dead, won't I?
You'll be dead, yeah.
I'll be dead, yeah.
In 2050, you will.
I'll be dead.
Unless because obviously you're becoming quite wealthy now. You're becoming a very rich man, obviously, from all your, celebrity endorsements.
I'll have my brain put into a robot
Exactly.
made of titanium, and I'll have it.
Would you be cryogenically frozen if you could do it?
I would, but I'd leave myself out on a towel.
Right.
Never, because if you do it too quickly, there is shrinkage.
You've got to be careful. Did you read in the paper this week? This is true. Apparently, the world's oldest man, who's 113, lives in some little part of Japan.
Sure.
Like a little island in Japan. But apparently, the world's oldest woman also lives in exactly the same place. Now, I don't know if she's since died, but she lived in the same place as well. Do you not think there's something suspicious going on there? I mean, isn't that a bit eerie to you?
I'm thinking, have you ever seen them together? And have you ever found lipstick in his bag? I think that'll be one and the same.
I wonder if it's something like, what brought Godzilla back? There's some kind of... There's some antics over there.
No, there might be. They're sort of like, yeah. Although, just hearing some of Karl's stories about school, there's something going on there where he lives.
Yeah.
Did you say you did live near a sort of nuclear plant or
I
something?
found out it wasn't a nuclear plant, it was a chemical plant.
My God.
Yeah.
Really? And is that really true?
What colour was the tap water in your area?
It was better than it is in London.
Right.
I was
Really?
talking to someone about this the other day.
Yeah.
Water in London's ropey. And I use one of them water filters.
Do you really?
And the guy down in the office was saying it's a waste of time though, because they only work for a couple of waters. Like you fill your jug twice, and then the water's going through the same muck, isn't it?
That's true enough.
But it's
So,
not. If it's
doesn't
not
work.
getting through, it's not getting through.
No,
If it's a filter, it doesn't matter, does it?
still not good though.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good point.
So have you just thrown it away based on what that bloke said?
Did he sell,
it currently in the bin?
you another one that he had on
Yeah,
him? Did
a better updated model.
Yeah. Did he have a suit and a
When
big-
you say, like, he works here, was he actually hanging around outside?
Yeah. Did he have a suitcase
with
with,
a
lots
cart?
of these in? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, dear.
So just go back to insults briefly.
Go on, Goofy.
saying...
Oh, no. See, that's...
Goofy, that's
no,
not
no,
fair.
no, because that's what he said. It's in my head.
What do you mean he said that?
No,
When did he say that?
No, I mean...
When did you call me Goofy?
No, he didn't. He said about what's in
Baldy?
the head.
Hey,
no, when it's...
come on.
Come off it. Don't
What? Who's
start
calling
on
me
it.
Goofy?
No.
I'm not even Goofy. Goggle-eyed's fair enough.
yeah, but you can sort your
Lanky.
look out. I can't.
What do you mean I can... How can I sort my look out? I'm not even Goofy. That's not fair.
You've got the proper features.
What?
Just needs sorting out a bit. I can't help it if my hair's not good.
I noticed the other day when Karl was sitting on your knee having his picture taken. It's a long story, right? He's got a completely spherical head. It's slightly too small. I'm not being funny because, I mean, I'm not perfect. But he's got a completely spherical little head. He looks a little bit like a baby hamburger. You know Hamburger off McDonald's?
Sure.
He looks like a little baby hamburger. And it's sort of quite put upon. It's
Suzanne thinks I look like that thing in that Dulux advert. Do you know when the woman pulls the head off that?
That little plasticine morph type
and then they
creature.
make a new head for it. And it's like a little head.
really...
And that's your girlfriend saying it.
I know. Anyway, listen, let's get back to business here. This is a great track. It's America by Simon and Garfunkel. This is where I started saying we don't care about being trendy and all that. That was it. Strokes last night, XFM 104.9. We're flying now. 35 minutes into it. No real hiccups. I don't think that.
Not so far.
It's going really well. My name's Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve.
Hello there.
Karl. All right. Coming up soon. White Van Man. White Van Karl. We ask Karl the questions that the Sun asked someone else.
Exactly.
It's a good feature.
It's a great feature.
I'll be testing Karl on the new re-education of Karl, as you know. He got a GCSE
It's the last one, isn't it?
In history. It was the last heavy sort of one, yeah.
No.
It's Winston Churchill. Well, yeah, because we're going on to more sort of metaphorical and metaphysical sort of pursuits, aren't we?
Not that book.
Yeah, that's the Aesop's
I can't
Fables.
read that in a week.
You don't have to read it.
Right,
Just choose out. Just choose the ones about the foxes eating penguins. You'll like that. Steve, over to you.
Thanks very much. I wonder if I don't think we've made much progress yet on sending Karl into into the air with the.
No,
balloons.
this has gone a bit ballistic. Actually,
Gone off the idea.
Oh no! Shut up!
Don't you haven't gone off the idea.
We've inflamed the imagination of the capital. There's people offering left, right, and centre, and I think it's a good idea. But I think we should make a day of it. I think we should send you up in some balloons, right? Maybe hang
on. Before we carry on, let's explain what happened because people might not have listened last week.
I don't believe that.
There are one or two, Rick.
I don't believe that.
People who are
Name
ill,
them.
or maybe out of the country.
Okay.
So last week we discovered, was it that 623, is it 6,000?
No, I read that 6,000 balloons filled with helium can lift a bloke off the floor.
I think that's too many. I think we could do it for less, certainly.
Well, anyway, listen, there are various organisations which actually exist already that can provide this kind of entertainment, this kind of fun. I mean, I didn't realise there was a whole kind of market for this already, but apparently there
Nor
is.
did I, no.
Incredible. Anyway, so we're going to try and track one of them down. We're going to see if they can organise it so that you, Karl, can float into the air. We need to get you, is it at least 11 feet up?
Yeah, if it's
and
just
I think certainly higher. I mean, I can't remember what the record is, but it's quite a long way.
11,000.
11,000 feet.
Yeah, but I think they're all official. I want to do it with like those little balloons you get for £1 at the zoo.
I don't think that can be right, health and safety wise. I don't think that can be healthy.
I think if we get him to sign something, which I will.
Okay.
I think we'll cover
You'll be fine.
ourselves.
But yeah, certainly we're thinking of maybe making it a bit like, is it Tea in the Park? The Capital FM.
The big event.
We should get sort of Steps. At least H from Steps can come down and host the event.
I mean, I don't mind comparing it. Steve's going to do. Steve's learning to sort of like scratch and mix and beat match, and you're getting pretty.
I'm making a lot of progress. Yeah,
You are going to be a turntablister.
Yeah.
Steve never learnt an instrument, which he regrets. And he's a modern lad, and he's using turntables as his instrument.
I just got 2 turntables on the microphone, and so far, seriously, I'm cutting it up big style. No, don't laugh because it is mental. That's the kind of stuff I'm coming out with. And I'm scratching. I got the beats, matching.
Can you imagine that?
Shut up! It's that. No. If look at the Chemical Brothers, for goodness' sake. If you're talking about freaks, look at those weirdos. Man alive!
At least you cut your hair at Gavin.
You know that
whatever it's called.
They used to kind of at least faintly appear in their videos. The next one is just some shots of like what you see from outside a train. To them, that is more glamorous and exciting, apparently, than seeing the lads themselves in the video.
Who do you think's cooler to look at, Steve or the Chemical Brothers?
Steve.
Definitely, yes. You're absolutely right, Karl, and that's the first sensible thing you've said for a long time.
If I was to work with Steve on some music, if I had the choice, I think Steve would look better on an album cover.
Really?
Yeah.
What would you do? Would you change him at all? What would you do with his image?
I'd put him in the distance, so
I can't believe this is...
so you don't look as tall. That's doing you a favour.
I was on the... This is true. I was on the tube, right, coming in to meet Gervais the other day, and I was wearing a suit, and my mobile phone slipped out of my pocket, and it landed on the seat, and I didn't realise this. And as I was about to get off, some bloke who was sat there like an old guy, he picked up the phone, he went, "Oi, Lanky, you dropped your mobile phone." And I was like, well... I thank you for pointing out I dropped my phone, but did you have to do the Lanky?
But you knew who he meant. I bet you turned round straight away. It worked.
Knew he meant, Steve.
But
he's done you again.
But I was the only person stood up. It was a fairly empty train.
Was there any other lanky people there?
No.
Well then.
No, but my point was there was no one else at all who was about to exit the train.
Okay, so he didn't need lanky.
He could have got "excuse me, sir," or "oi you," anything, but "oi Lanky."
I know.
It's that thing, though, isn't it? That's what I'm talking about. You say the thing that you don't want to say. It's like me with Ken Dodd and Will.
I think he wanted to say this.
Oh, well.
I think he took pleasure in it.
I think he went, "That bloke's lanky. I shouldn't say that." Yeah, I should. Oi, lanky.
What's he going to do?
Phone. Yeah. Do you want your phone back or not?
Well, this balloon thing, anyway, it's got a bit out of hand.
Why is it out of hand? What are you worried
it's
about?
funny. I just want to. I want to sort of like tie them all to the back of your belt. So as you go up there, you sort of tip forward slightly, so you're going up slightly upside down.
We could paint some advertising on your bald head.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll do that, Lanky.
That'd be great.
Here he comes.
No, I mean, last week it was just a bit of fun about going like just lifting my feet off the ground.
No,
and that's a big difference to what it's got now.
No, okay. I'll tell you what. We'll do 100 feet in the air, and I'll hold on to the rope.
But we'll do it at Wembley Arena. We'll sell tickets. But it'll be for charity, Karl.
It'll be for charity.
No, we'll have lots of underprivileged kids coming along to see it.
It's just got out of hand. It's like, I like karaoke, but I wouldn't want to go on Stars in the Rise.
Sure.
And it's got out of hand. That's how it's grown too big. I don't.
Who would you do if you were on Stars in the Rise?
I'd do that.
Moby?
No, that Jack the Knife song. I love
Jack the Knife.
Old Mac Heath. That one, yeah?
Is Mac the Knife?
That's what I do.
But which
He'd do a hip-hop version.
But which of the many singers would you impersonate? You can't. It's not the song, is it? It's the singer.
You could do Jimmy Somerville, I think, quite well.
Yeah, Somerville you'd be good as.
Moby. Did Morph bring out a single?
I don't think Morph did.
Didn't he?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm sure. Didn't he have a theme tune? Did Morph? Phone in if you think Morph.
Morph didn't speak, Rick. Let
Didn't
him
he?
sing.
Morph hardly had any features.
True.
Right.
Yeah. You just decided to play a record. Suddenly he's taken over the show.
Express 2 featuring David Byrne, Lazy, XFM 104.9, Quarter to 2, I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve's Got the Sun.
Yes, I'm just
We're just going to be doing White Van Karl, where we ask Karl the questions the Sun asked some other bloke.
That's right.
Because we think Karl's got more to say than anyone on anything. Karl only tells the truth, by the way. Just remember that, listeners. Off you go.
Yes, well, today's White Van Man in the Sun is John Slade. He owns his own door maintenance company. His answers are very informative, I have to say. But Karl, what do you make of the Channel 4 producer, aged 30, who duped a school into believing he was a teenager for a documentary? Are you familiar with this story?
No, go on.
Well, basically a 30-year-old guy kind of fooled the school into thinking he was a pupil for a secret documentary. The school's outraged. Do you think that that's, for you, should anything go when it comes to making TV?
I think I've said to you before, there's loads of kids at my school. I remember being in the first year, and kids who, what year do schools go up to? I was in the first year. What is it?
11.
5?
Oh, sorry, first year of infants and juniors.
No, secondary school.
11.
Right, year 11. Kids have beards and stuff.
No, not year 11. They're 11 when they first go to secondary school.
Right. Well, I'm 11. The kids at the older end.
Well, there's a fifth form, and then there's
you can leave when you're 16, I think, can't you now?
Right. Well, kids who were 16 looked old. They did have beards. I remember going there and thinking some of them were teachers.
I think he's answered that. Next one. What's the next one?
Tattoos and everything. I think they're kids in the earlier years even.
What do you make of the fact that Mariah Carey's £38 million payoff has cost EMI staff their jobs, and we're talking 1,800 EMI staff who have lost their jobs?
What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean,
is that silly money, Mariah Carey, on 38 million?
She doesn't need that much.
She doesn't need that much. She has to dress nice, though.
It's not her fault. I'd say it's bad business.
Okay.
Because EMI, did you say?
Yes.
Right. They've got rid of them staff.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey's left. Who's going to do the work?
Do you think Mariah should come back and do some temping?
Well, they should have got a loan and paid her.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Vicious circle, that.
Right.
Have you done a business degree or anything?
Commerce.
You did commerce. Where did you do that? What did you do with that?
At school, I'd learned how to fill out a cheque, pay a bill, and I think I had a trip round Kellogg's.
Did you get an O level or a GCSE?
We know he didn't.
You know, I did.
But was there a commerce exam, or was it just a division of
Can't
maths?
remember.
What did you do? Fill out a
Was
check?
it a subset of
It was
maths?
an option. It was like, if you want to do it, you can.
What was it? Fill out a check.
Fill
Pay
out
a bill.
check,
Pay a bill.
Have a visit round
Nip round
Kellogg's.
Kellogg's, and I saw my sister's boyfriend there at the time. He sorted me out with some variety packs.
Really? What was in them?
You know, Rice Krispies and
Good stuff.
Cocoa Pops?
Space Dust or whatever it is.
Space Nuts.
So, sorry, that wasn't Ken Dodd, no.
No.
That was someone else, was it? That was an aunt.
That wasn't Special K. Oh, dear.
What about this then? Home Secretary David Blunkett admits that muggers rule some streets.
Weird this, because when I was out with you...
I don't believe it's going to be weird, whatever you say, Carl.
No, when we were in that pub that night and we got talking about muggers and that, the tip is what I tend to do, because I nearly got mugged once. Act mental.
You what? You nearly got mugged once?
I nearly got mugged.
Yeah.
But I tried this technique of acting a bit mental.
Right, and how did you act mental?
Well, this guy wanted me trainers. And I was in Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester. It was quite late one night. Mm-hmm. And he come up, he said, I want them trainers. I said, you want them? I said, I worked hard for these. He said, how dare you come to me asking? And I got a bit livid. And I he looked at me like, oh my God, he's got a right one here, and he left me.
Were you acting mental or were you just mental?
No, I put it on a bit.
Were you not petrified though?
Well, you don't think about it, do you, when you're sort of in the eyes of danger?
Well, not you. Clearly, you're a brave man. So, what did you say?
I just went a bit mad. I just kind of, because he said he wanted the trainers and they were dear ones at the time, and I just, no, you're not having these. So I've crafted you. I said I wanted these trainers, and went on to telling how I work at printers and I don't enjoy it, and I put in all these hours and that, and I have to cycle home for about 5 miles. And
did he give you his trainers?
Yeah.
Did he have a knife or anything?
I just left. No, it didn't get that. Didn't get that violent.
Well, that's very brave of you, Karl.
Yeah, it's
that's good advice though. Just act mental.
See, what's it? Should have tried it the other night.
Oh, Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
Well, she says, I've worked hard for these diamonds. Yeah. Not easy being the daughter of Judy Garland. You don't know what it's like.
Finally, apparently there was a crook that got a security job at Heathrow. Right, he was a crook and he got a job at Heathrow. As robbers steal another £2 million. Apparently security down there is lax.
Yeah.
Is that a concern for you?
Is this another 2 million?
Yeah.
Why is all this money at the airport?
It's those sandwich shops. You know how they're really expensive, the sandwiches when you're in a plane. They're like £2.50 for tuna, which is ludicrous.
Yeah.
That's basically the reason.
What do you mean, why is all this money at airports?
What is it doing there? Why?
Have a go. No, have a go answering this yourself. Why is anything at an airport?
It's going somewhere.
Or coming in from somewhere.
Yeah, but money, you can sort it out through the bank, like phone banks and that.
Have you done commerce? You know a lot about paying bills and writing out checks. Yeah.
Tell us about Kellogg's.
What was it like? What was in the factory? Was it just like squashing bits of corn?
Pretty boring, really. Just loads of conveyor belts, boxes of cornflakes everywhere. Just what you imagine.
Yeah.
So is it more, this is where you might be working? This is where you're likely to work?
Possibly. There was 2 trips. There was that and the trip to Manchester Evening News.
Okay.
And I left that early because I had a job in Cordon Bleu.
In Kellogg's?
Cordon Bleu, what's that?
It's like a supermarket.
Yeah?
And I had to leave the trip early and the teacher went mad saying they'd thought I'd got lost on the, in the building and stuff.
What, you didn't tell anyone?
No, because it was like day 2 of working in this supermarket and I couldn't be late. I thought by the time I explain where I've got to go and everything, I'll be even later.
Sure.
So I just left and then apparently they were searching the building and everything for me.
Oh,
I was stuck in a printer. Don't know.
Stuck in a printer?
I don't know.
What was the printer's name?
You worked at a supermarket called Cordon Bleu.
Yeah. Cordon Bleu.
Brilliant.
That's great, isn't it?
It's rubbish.
Oh.
Got sacked.
What did you get sacked for?
Messing about in a back in the car park round the back.
Yeah.
Right. There was a grid, and all the concrete had gone funny. So when it rains, you got like a big lake.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I got in. Do you know those big metal trolleys you get to like put all the food in whilst?
Oh yeah.
And I got in one of them and pushed myself out into this lake
of cement.
No,
of water.
Full of water. It'd been raining. Right. And I got stuck in the middle, right? And the boss was like, "Where's Karl? He's meant to be doing, facing up the beans." And I was like,
and you were stranded in a lake.
So someone said, "Oh, I saw him messing about out the back." He came out and saw me stuck in the middle of this lake in a trolley, and he said, "Get back in." I said,
"Would you say no? I'm filming sharks."
I said, "It's too deep. I can't get out. You'll have to pass me something." And he said, "I'm not passing you nothing." He said, "You can get out of there and walk through it." I said, "I'm not. I've got my trainers on, probably the same ones."
Yeah, you've risked your life for them.
Yeah. I said, "I'm not getting these wet." He said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to wait for the water to go down the grid." He said, "The grid's blocked. Now get out or you're sacked." I said, "Well, I'm not getting out." He said, "Right, you're sacked."
So you were sacked? How long did you have to wait for the water to go down the grid?
In the end, I did get bored and I sort of did a bit of a leap and a jump and got 1 foot wet.
How long were you waiting?
About half an hour.
Just think of it. I mean, how did he get himself into that situation? That's fantastic. Should we play a record?
Oh, definitely. That's a joy. Oh, you're an absolute pleasure. More White Van Man next time on the show. Electric Soft Parade. I keep trying to get the album for free from you, Karl. You've not sorted me out yet. I have to rely on other people to give me different copies.
No, I did try.
Tracks.
I'll keep trying.
Please do. This is one called There's a Silence, Electric Soft Parade. Gomez and Shot on XFM 104.9. Sorry, I
I was going to tell Steve something. Talk amongst yourselves. When you were out there, Johnny Mango phoned up and said to Karl, "Come on, when are we going to do this thing?" And Karl got all nervous, right? And he went, "You don't want to do it, do you?" He said, "Well, it's going to get out of hand. I just wanted to go as high as a tree." And he went, "Well, you can. I'll hold you down with a rope." He went, "Yeah," but he said, "But when the crowd are there and they're all screaming higher, higher, I'll feel the pressure and have to go along with it." What crowd? What crowd is this? Higher. No, higher.
We don't live in a medieval era. There's not going to be dancing bears and tumbling midgets. Well, I don't know. That's an idea.
Hold on. If there's anyone got any of those.
Tumbling midgets would be amazing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Less balloons, cheaper to do.
Oh, you're going up?
No, you're going up with them. No, you're going up with them. Not just no.
With a midget under either arm. Brilliant.
Yeah. Oh dear. It's time for the re-education of Karl Pilkington. This week, Karl was studying the life and times of Winston Churchill. What did you make of it, Karl? What did Churchill do for you?
Right. Well, last week I made a bit of an error with Hitler.
Yeah, you
tried to remember too much, and it was way too much for me.
Sure.
So what I've done this week, sort of flicked through, got a few of them basic facts.
Yeah.
And what I've learned, right? Bit weird the way all these people have something in common, that they're all a bit weird when they're younger.
Okay.
They've got some sort of illness.
Go on.
Well, Rasputin, he wasn't well as a kid.
Yeah.
Che Guevara.
Oh, this is Rasputin, the mad monk, wasn't well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Asthma, really bad asthma.
Yeah.
Hitler, he was
Only
a
one ball.
bit mental.
Yeah.
Only his mother.
He was a bit mental. That could be libelous.
Yeah.
And who have we done? And Churchill.
Yeah.
Very weak child.
Was he?
He only spoke to his dad 4 times in his whole lifetime.
Really?
Yeah, didn't get on with his dad.
Right.
And I think one of the times when his dad spoke to him, he was having a go, saying he didn't do as well in the army as he wanted him to.
Right.
So that's pretty sad bit I picked up of it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So that spurred him on anyway.
yeah. I'm not going in all the ins and outs. Very important bloke.
Okay.
No, seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
your dad bought the tapes, didn't he?
Yes.
And I can understand why. Because he did change a lot for us. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be sat here now talking like this.
Why?
We could have been German.
Yep.
He didn't let that happen.
No.
Everyone had a go at him, right? When I think it was Chamberlain who was in power,
Yeah.
and he was like saying, "Don't be trusting that Hitler,"
Yeah.
you know. And everyone was like, "Look, stop causing trouble." Chamberlain sorted it out, you know. He sorted out a peace agreement,
Yeah.
and he was like, "No, I don't trust him." And everyone's like, "Oh, you're just causing trouble." You know, everyone else is happy. Then it turned out that Hitler did actually do the dirty,
Yeah.
and try and come over.
I remember didn't he do something? He started a war or
There was a
something.
conflict of some kind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
started a problem, and everyone went, "Hang on a minute, that Churchill knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get him back in charge."
Sure.
And they got him in, and Hitler was scared of him because he knew that he wasn't going to be having any lies or anything. He couldn't try it on with Churchill.
Yeah. Especially
And,
when he was a little bit pissed up and coked and with
He
a big
was.
cigar. Churchill.
He wasn't doing that.
I think a lot were during the war, in the war cabinet. I think they had to have things to keep him awake all night and stuff. And he certainly liked a brandy.
Rick, Winston Churchill was coked up, was he? I mean, sorry, this is something I wasn't aware of.
If there are any historians listening, if I'm wrong, I'm
Was that
very
in the
sorry.
World at War?
No, I don't
Winston
think
Churchill
so.
was-
Any historians or experts on war? Did Churchill and not some of the other people during I think the First and Second World War take a little bit of cocaine?
So when it said that
Doctors certainly used to.
Hitler liked cakes, would they be like the funny sort of cakes?
No, he probably did like a little bit of Madeira cake.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably nothing like that. Sorry, carry on.
So anyway,
He beat the Bosch.
yeah, did all
Oh,
that.
that's steady on. His personal life's nothing to do with it.
And the most amazing bit is, right, he wasn't fit, and he had a couple of
Well,
strokes.
he's a good-looking bloke in many ways.
Well, he had a couple of strokes, but he had a stroke on, say...
We've had that. He beat the Bosch. He
we
liked
talked
to have
about
a couple of
beating the
strokes.
Bosch, yeah.
Let's not get into innuendo, Karl. It's stupid.
Right, say he had like a stroke on a Tuesday. He was up and fighting again on a Wednesday.
Really?
He was a strong bloke.
Yeah.
And then he died at about the age of 86 or something.
He's a good lad, wasn't he?
He was really good.
Yeah.
Is he the one you favour most of all?
I'd
the ones
say
you've
out of all, I mean, Rasputin, I don't understand why he got, like I said, I don't know why they made a book on him.
No.
He just didn't deserve it.
No.
Che Guevara, he had his time, I suppose, and did a bit good for certain people.
Sure.
Sorted Cuba out.
Yeah.
Doesn't really affect me.
No.
Hitler, I mean, enough said.
Yeah.
Bad bloke. Churchill sorted it all out.
Yeah.
And like I
So
said,
your favourite out of the four of them, the of those four, is Churchill.
yeah. I think he's
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
I agree. I agree with you, I think.
What I love with your kind of sort of summary of these people's incredible lives is the way that it's almost like, I remember in Looking magazine, I don't remember Looking, it was the Junior
I
TV
remember
Times.
Looking.
They used to have half a page which was a comic strip summarising someone's life. You might have, say, 5 Star, the story of 5 Star.
Yeah.
And he'd have a picture. I always remember the Roger Moore one was a picture of like Roger's parents. It was like Roger Moore was born in 1930, Picture of Roger's parents. Roger grew up during the war. Picture of Roger running down the street, right, dressed as a school kid with a Spitfire coming behind him like it was going to try and shoot him.
Mr. Smith, surely.
Exactly, Mr. Smith, yeah. Roger took up acting. Picture of Roger acting.
Yeah.
Roger became James Bond. Roger's now a popular, star in his own right, and does a lot of work for charity. Brilliant. It summed up the whole thing in kind of
I think
5
they used to have that in one of the TV Times or the
Yeah,
Sun.
I think they may have.
I remember sort of when it was Tina Turner. What's it? Born Sarah May Bullock. Then it was Nutbush City Limits. Stop hitting me, Ike.
Yeah.
And then it's simply the best, and that was it. It was
Exactly.
It's great.
And that's very much what how your summary of great events is.
But I'd say if you didn't know about Churchill, you've learnt a bit today.
I was
Especially
also, can people call in all these fellas taking cocaine? I think I'm right. It's
number?
08 700 800 1234.
Yeah.
Give us a call, XFM 104.9.
Did Winston Churchill and various other dignitaries take coke during the war?
During the war, staying up for the war effort, the emergency summits and meetings. I think it was. I think it's been documented. I could be wrong, and let me tell you now, it's not happening today. Wow.
Pete, you're on there.
He's there, isn't he, to save me? For Nancy, XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me, Steve Merchant and Karl. I'm getting excited now because we've had loads of calls and emails, not only backing me up, but going a little bit further. Apparently, Johnny Mango called in again. He's become our sort of official researcher on this show. There is evidence that Queen Victoria in Balmoral, with a young house guest, Winston Churchill, used to consume cocaine-filled lozenges. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Also, MDMA was a precursor of sort of ecstasy, a derivative, and that was big in the day, giving soldiers, a little pick-me-up. So it's not so mad, is it?
It sort of
Winston
makes
Churchill
sense
taking cocaine,
because he was into his speeches and that, and they say that coke gives you sort of... the balls to stand up and say, like...
Not that that's a good thing. And
no, it's not.
No.
Definitely not.
No.
Right? But it makes you confident, doesn't it? So you can stand up and say, we're going to fight them on the beaches.
Yeah.
And all that. And sound like you mean it.
It's exactly, yeah. When he was sort of like, a little bit pissed up with his cigar on, coked off his tits, he wanted to fight. He didn't care where it was. He'd fight on a beach. He didn't care. He didn't care if he got sand in his new trainers.
Exactly. He was boozed up.
Yeah. You want to fight? Yeah. That's why he was coming hard.
He was very much. You got to think of him as the Liam Gallagher of his day.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Bad.
Are we allowed to talk about this? I mean, I don't mean in terms of referencing drugs, but are we allowed to? Is this like libelous to Winston Churchill?
One,
Or
you
his
can't
family?
libel the dead.
Yeah, but
Two,
can you-
it's a
is
lot
that
of
only
it-
in America, maybe?
I'm asking, and we're not saying. Two, I think you'd probably going to do also a fair comment. Three, we say we were joking.
Yeah.
4, it's a satire.
Yeah. 5, we love him.
5, we're not condoning drugs in any way.
6, this is Dermot O'Leary's show.
I didn't have a go at him anyway. I said he's all right. If there's any law against Rasputin, we might be in trouble.
Law against you did
Rasputin.
willfully Raspute.
Yeah.
All over
You
the
did
airwaves.
slag off Russia's greatest love machine.
Yeah. You didn't shoot him till he was dead, did you? Oh, put some poison into his
I'll tell you this, if
wine.
there's any other historical questions that people want answered, then we're the men. Because really, with the three of us, our knowledge of the fact that the Hindenburg was filled with helium,
Yeah.
the kind of coke habits and various drug habits of Britain's most famous political leader, we've got the answers to all of it.
Einstein,
Go on.
I found out in the week that he didn't talk till he was 6. See, it's all these people who are weird.
Churchill couldn't read, could he, till he was 8 or 9?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. He got a D in history apparently, GCSE. Just one better. No, but Karl called me in the week, and he was a little bit stressed because he's had a bad week now. He got stressed about Hitler and Churchill, and I said, well, we're chill out a little bit, and I'll teach him something a little bit cozier. And I said, like, what about animals? No, not frightening other animals. You're interested in animals, aren't you?
Yeah.
And he went, all right then. And then he went, okay, here's a question for you, Clever. So there's 3 animals without ears. He said, and I've told you one. And I went, well, that's the snake, because he was talking about the snake. I went, hold on, Karl, there's loads of animals without ears. He went, there's not, there's 3. I went, there's loads. I said, jellyfish, worms, single-cell protozoa, poriferous. But he went, oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Animals, proper animals. I went, they are animals. He went, no, proper animals. And I went, do you mean mammals? He went, what are you on about? I said, are these animals, have they got legs and are they fur-bearing, right? And he went, one is. They've got legs. I went, I don't know, I give up. He went, right, the turtle. I went, right, yeah. And he went, and the bumblebee. He said, that's the one with fur. That's the one with fur. The one... what are you thinking? What is in your head, Karl?
Which has got the most fur, a bee or a turtle?
It's not fur.
What is it?
Well, it's
He's done you there, Gervais.
It's pseudo hairs, isn't it? It's like it's a hair. It's a keratin thing. It's not like we have, like mammals grow fur. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not convinced.
So go on,
we say like fur, mammals are warm-blooded creatures.
Yeah.
Often, usually placental. There's a few exceptions, right? That give their milk to their young, nurture their young, and they have fur.
Have you heard about oysters? Oysters. They 1 minute they're a man, then they're a woman, then they're a man again.
Like Eddie Izzard. Now that's libelous. He's a transvestite, could I say? He's not a transsexual. Let's say that straight away. I'm retracting that.
Right, go on then. Give us some more facts.
No, I've got you Aesop's Fables.
No, but you had some more facts you told me that were dead good. I just wondered if Steve knew them.
What? What do you want to know?
The ones that you read out to me. You had one about the spiky thing.
Go on.
Porcupine.
Give me a clue.
How many spikes has a porcupine got?
Don't know.
How many was it?
I think it was about 10,000. But these aren't the most interesting facts, are they?
It's all right.
It's all right, though, isn't it? Yeah. And he went, but how can they say that? You could say that, we've got a certain amount of hairs in our head. I went 100,000 average. He went, yeah, but I haven't. So how do we know that porcupine that they've counted is the same for all of them?
Might have had alopecia.
yeah. He might have been a particularly hairy one. You know what I mean? Right, you've got to learn. Do you know what a fable is? I'll try to explain briefly. Do you know what a fable is?
I've got a rough idea.
Okay, it's a thing that uses sort of metaphor, analogy, just to explain sort of morals. I mean, they're very, very old for a start, and it's all. I'll give you an example of one. A quick one. Oh, the one about the dog with 2 bones. He goes to a dog's got a bone. He sees a reflection in the lake, and he thinks, "Oh, that dog's got a nice bone. I'll have that." And as he goes to get that one in the reflection, he drops the one he's got, and that's one about
I think I was told one when I was younger.
Go on.
I think it was one. This young lad, he's got a dog, right, and he's about 8 years old, and this dog, he's had it since he was about 4, and it's a bit tired now, and he chucks sticks for it, and it doesn't go for it. And he's saying to his mum, "Oh, I want a new dog because this one's useless. It doesn't do what, it doesn't have any fun with me." So they say, "Oh, no, but, Rover's a good little dog. You should look after it." And he's like, "Oh, I don't like it. I want a new one." So they buy him a new puppy, and it's running around, yapping about, and he's loving it, and he's playing around with it in the grass. And then one day he goes to the park, and he's messing about and rolling about with it, and he falls into the lake, right? And the little puppy's like yapping at him, and he's going, help me, the little dog's yapping. And then the old dog comes and gets his collar, and it pulls him out of the lake. And he goes, "Oh, God, why did I forget about you? You're the better dog." And he loved that one again rather than the puppy.
I got a feeling that was Lassie.
Well, yeah, that was an episode of Lassie. What's the moral? What's the moral there, Karl? What's that telling? What's that explaining through analogy?
sort of don't forget the old.
Look after old people. I remember there was one I heard once about a young boy who got trapped in a lake inside a cage.
But he loved his trainers so much.
He wasn't going to get them wet.
But
even though he had to get out there.
And even though he thought that was the important thing because it's material value, he actually drowned. And the trainers were no good to him then.
Star Sailor.
Hives, hate to say I told you so. Now I want to clear a couple of things up. Obviously, me and Steve, we love Karl. This is the things we give Karl to read and talk. Is not to embarrass him or stress him out at all. We genuinely like his view of the world. Yep. In fact, we did an interview yesterday with a bloke from the Standard who really liked the show and said, "Do you like Karl? Because you take the piss out of him a lot." And we just like to say we love Karl. I said to that bloke, I said, it's like I've got a new kitten. I can't wait to get in and see his little face on Saturdays, didn't I?
Yes.
And I think I'm worried because I thought I'd give Karl something he was really get his teeth into with these Aesop fables. It involves animals and, little stories. But I've given him a couple and he doesn't seem to be that impressed or understand the concept.
It's just that you said you'd bring in an animal fact book as well. And I can't see that anywhere.
No. Well, you can only read one book at a time, can't you?
Why didn't you bring the other one in first?
Well, it's big. I've got to work my way up to it. Sometimes I'll probably have to get a cab because it's a bit big. Now, listen, I'll give this one. This is an easy one. Now, just think just what it means. They're not that hidden. They're not that cryptic. Just think what this means, okay? Okay. When the hares addressed a public meeting and claimed that all should have fair shares, the lions answered, "A good speech, hairy feet, but it lacks claws and teeth such as we have."
How would you use that?
No. What do you think that means? This is translated from the, I don't know, Greek or something. I don't know. It was Aesop. Where's he from?
Greek.
Yeah. So shall I do it in my own language? Okay. So what would happen if there's hares and they have a meeting in the jungle with like loads of lions and go, "Hey, hold on, wait a minute. I think we should all be equal and share everything, all right?" And the lions go, "Well, yeah, it's easy for you to say. We've got claws and teeth."
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's saying like, of course the hares want that because it's better for them. The lions get nothing out of it because they're already king of the jungle.
That's right. So it's negotiating from weakness. Anyone can negotiate from strength, but negotiating from weakness is it'd be lovely. It's a lovely utopian look at the animal kingdom.
But the way you said it is better than the way they worded it.
Well, that's because Ricky's very much the modern Aesop. I mean, many people have thought that. That's why he's getting a lot of awards with the TV show. For him, that's a fake.
So look, I'll take that home and read ones you like and tell me about the ones you like, ones that click. I don't care if you only come in with like one or two. Go, I'll tell you what, Rick, that's there's one thing that I've learned from that. Because sometimes you can know all these phrases and until something happens, you don't think, everyone's heard, to, I don't know, to err is human, to forgive divine. And then something, might happen. Do you go, oh, that's what that means. That's amazing. So,
Do you know any, Steve, offhand?
Wait, what's that?
A fable.
Well, I would imagine that the most famous one I've always remembered is the lion with the thing in its hoof. Do you remember that?
Paw.
The lion, yeah, with the spike in its paw, and a smaller animal gets it out for it, but it still attacks it anyway.
Well, that's life, isn't it?
Well, I read one the other day, actually, which was very interesting. It was one that the famous film director Orson Welles said.
Oh, yeah.
Which he said, apparently there was a bear going across a lake, wading through the lake, and a scorpion said, well, let me go on your back, will you? Come on, just let me go on your back, we'll go across, it'd be brilliant. He goes, well, no, you'll just sting me. You go, don't be stupid, if I sting you, you'll die, and we'll both drown. And he goes, oh, fair enough.
Who was doing the stinging?
The scorpion.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And the bear's wading through the water.
Yeah.
So the scorpion jumps on the back, and they wade through the water, and halfway across, the scorpion stings the bear. And the bear goes, well, we're both going to die now. He goes, yeah, it's my nature.
I thought he was going to say, I can swim.
Oh, you're the best.
What's the one about...
Does that mean anything to you? It's my nature, i.e., that's in my nature.
That's the way it is.
That's what I do. Yeah, I'm a scorpion. Yeah. One of my favourite ones.
These don't mean anything to you, do they? I mean, what I'm saying is you're not impressed by them.
They're all right.
What about
Why
this?
not
What about
just
this
say
one?
Don't trust bears.
Here's one of my favourites. What?
He said, well, why not just say, don't trust bears?
The bear's the one that was too trustworthy. Don't trust scorpions.
Yeah.
Right. Here's one of my favourite ones of all time. Okay. A lion is dying. It's an old lion. He's in the front of his cave, and all the animals come around, like the foxes and the hyenas and the rabbits, and they're all taking the piss out of him, and they're laughing at him, and they're laughing and going, "You can't fight us now." And just before he dies, he goes, "Fine, but I was a lion once." What does that mean?
Don't know.
Well, he's saying it's better to have lived and had what I had, because I was great, if only for a short time, and you lot are still alive, but you're nothing. You're rabbits and hares. I was a lion once, so I'm
Are they
happy.
always using animals for these stories?
Well, yeah, I could change it to refrigerators and household appliances if it would make it help, but animals,
I remember the one about being ill a lot, and you say something about
go on.
If you keep doing that, if you keep having time off, well, I won't believe you.
That's the boy who cried wolf. Is
Yeah.
that right? Yeah. Do you know that one?
Have you heard the famous one? This is probably the most powerful one. When you're pulling a face, and they say, well, if you
Wind
keep doing that, the wind changes.
I've heard
You'll stay
that.
like that. Because you know that's scientifically proven.
That is.
That can happen.
That can happen.
Should we have hip hop hooray?
Yeah.
Are you queued up for that?
No, but go on.
Karl, sort it out, mate.
I was going to...
No, come on. This is what I asked you to play, mate. If you've not, you're getting too big for your boots now with your showbiz lifestyle. You're not paying
Yeah.
attention, are you? You're not playing
Yeah.
the records we want you to play.
Heat magazine's favourite.
Yeah. Okay, so
Oh, you
I've
dropped that.
the
You
CD
did
now.
embarrass
That's
yourself.
clumsy.
Oh.
With the big.
I
lazy
can't
James
believe you're not.
Foster.
Oh, fables are great.
He's not impressed, is he? Rick?
No, I am. I mean, once I take this book home tonight and that, have a read, I might change my mind on them next week.
You're coming all stressed.
I'm not impressed with the ones you've been talking about, I must admit.
Okay.
Okay,
Sure.
this album is by this group Nerd, who are big hip-hop and R&B producers in the States.
Yeah.
We've played a track from them in the past, Bobby James. This album's been re-recorded, I don't know why exactly, with live instruments. You don't get many R&B and hip-hop records now with live instruments, so it's pretty...
It's all computers, isn't it, Steve, these
That's fair
days, and
enough.
drum machines.
And there is a forthcoming single. I suspect it might be this track, Rockstar. I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play track 2, Things Are Going to Get Better. Rick, I believe it's generally acknowledged now that I broke Princess Superstar on this show, and she's since had a successful single and album. I'm trying to do the same here with Nerd. In Search Of is the name of the album, released on April the 8th, or should I say re-released. Some of us had it a while back, Rick, you may recall. They've obviously worked as hip-hop remixers and producers with Jay-Z, with P. Diddy, with Khalees, ODB. Khalees features on the album. That was called Things Are Getting Better, and it's dynamite. It's worth getting.
I've been trying to break Bob Dylan, haven't I, and
Exactly.
Radiohead and all those.
Yep. How are you getting on?
All right, they're doing well. No order, here to stay. Sadly, we're not here to stay, Steve. We've only got about 10 more minutes.
That's true enough.
Yeah?
Well, I think that's just time for some interesting facts that Johnny Mango, our researcher from loosecontrol.com, has emailed us. A few familiar ones, favourite ones of yours, I think.
Go on. Any ones I don't know, though?
I think you know this one, don't you? A pig's orgasm lasts for 30 minutes.
I know. And a pig can't actually look directly up. Wouldn't
can
have
look
thought so
directly
after
up.
30 minutes of coming.
No, absolutely.
Then you could be careful here.
That's incredible.
Remember what happened to Tom Bins? Go on.
Humans and dolphins are the only species that have sex for pleasure.
Bonobos do as well. They've rediscovered, which is a
Bonobo?
Yeah,
What's a bonobo?
a chimpanzee, like a chimpanzee.
Right.
So, yeah. So it's 3 now.
Can't believe dolphins are getting
They're
more
3.
action than me.
They're all at it now. Dolphins get Yeah.
Polar bears are left-handed.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Extraordinary. I don't quite know how they worked that out. Did they give them spelling tests? Or writing tests?
Oh yeah, they probably just do it. It's probably the paw they use to hide up the black nose during a hunt.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. Some lions mate over 50 times a day.
Yeah, not every day of the year.
Okay, they don't do that every day.
No.
Okay, because again, I'm worried.
No.
I didn't think that dolphins.
What day of the year do you do it 50 times? What is it? It's coming up to it. It's April, isn't it? You'd like to get out there.
I have a special day, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we could coincide that with the balloon event. It'll just be me quietly humping in the corner. Volunteers, welcome to email now. And all the proceeds go to charity.
If you are a desperate lioness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Butterflies taste with their feet.
I didn't know that.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
That is interesting.
But they don't eat much, do they? Because they only live a day.
Good point.
They wouldn't need to eat.
An ostrich's eye is bigger than its brain.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
That's extraordinary.
That is, yeah.
And the
But Karl, how big are your eyes?
Cruel. Finally, I think we've discussed this before, haven't we? A cockroach will live 9 days without its head before it starves to death.
Yeah, that's only because it can't get water and food. Yeah, it would be quite happy going around doing its normal things.
Yeah.
I mean,
Probably to work.
If you're just as good without your head as with your head,
May as well not have a head.
I don't see the point. Well, that was thanks to Johnny Mango there of, what's his website called? Who's turned into a sort of volunteered researcher.
Yeah.
He's very fast.
Losecontrol.com. Can I just say as well, we've had lots of emails from different people just saying they enjoy the show and offering little tidbits and things. Nick Wilson, Sarah and Lauren, Ken, Dan, Jane. She wanted some Ash. We didn't play Ash. Never mind. Lee, Jez, Derry. There's loads of people there.
Well, I'm gonna, again, we were talking earlier about, you not caring about being like a geek or a freak or not trendy. No, I'm just saying.
I am trendy, yeah.
And I know, yeah. And I'm going to play a bit of an easy listening. I apologise to those people who still tune in and expect to hear 2 hours of new metal or Gorillaz. And this is a very old-fashioned, lovely tune. It's Bread. I hope you enjoy it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage, Bread.
Bread. Make It With You. Great track, isn't it?
It is a good track.
You can't argue with that.
I think Bread defies slightly my test, don't they? The ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage. Because Bread is a pretty awful name, and yet obviously they were very successful.
Oh, they're pretty big. I think they. You're not confusing it with the sitcom.
I'm afraid I often
Joey.
do. I always associate the two, and that's never a good thing.
Yeah. Game's getting hard because someone's dealing you a losing card.
Was that recorded by Bread?
I think so. The cast of, I think so. Yeah.
Right.
Win it. So the game, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Bread. Bread.
Look at his face lighting up.
Did you like Bread?
You tell him an Aesop fable, he's not interested. You sing the theme to Bread.
Yeah, little Manx, like the scally sort of scouse sort of ways.
Manx don't like the Scousers.
Why not? Why can't they live together? Why can't they all live together?
I tried, and then when I went to where's that place? They have flies the size of you can't get them in a matchbox.
Well, most newsagents don't put flies in matchboxes. What do you mean you can't get them in a matchbox? You mean buy them at a tobacconist?
No. I remember being there and thinking, God, the flies are big here.
What?
I can't remember, but anyway, there was a Scouse bloke there.
What, a country? Or
yeah, abroad.
Right, okay.
Flies are massive. And there was a Scouse bloke there, and I was quite happy to let things, we don't get on, but I was like, I'm on holiday, we're in the same town, let's get on.
Yeah.
And he couldn't stand me. Name was Alan. I think he lives in London now. Couldn't be doing with him.
What did he do?
He just was like, I bet you like Man United. And it's like, well, yeah. And it's like, they're rubbish. And going on about my town's dark. It's like, well, when did you go? If it was the winter, it would have been.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
Well, I'm glad you got off your chest.
I've never seen Karl like this.
He was annoyed there.
I tell you, Alan, if you're listening, you really wild Karl. You do not want to get on the wrong side of Pilkington.
Anyway, that's pretty much it, isn't it, for this week?
That's a lot.
It is indeed. What's your song?
Yeah, song for the ladies this week, taking on from your Bread, really. Same kind of low, acoustics kind of sound. It's Kings of Convenience, Toxic Girl, beautiful track.
Just got time for this.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
See you next time.
Yeah.
New Order, here to stay on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
We're here to stay.
Yeah.
For the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
All right.
That's Steve Merchant there. We're with our producer here, Karl Pilkington. We'll be talking to Karl a little bit later because we've got to have his thoughts on Aesop's fables, continuing the education of Karl. We've got some great music coming up, haven't we?
Good music.
A little bit of, what have we got? Happy Mondays.
Badly Drawn Boy.
Yeah, all that. Bob Dylan.
All sorts
coming up.
Yeah, Rick, I don't know, I just wanted to bring your attention to this. Someone passed this on to me. It's from the Guardian's media website. There has a sort of website that's dedicated to kind of media information.
Is this about our complaint?
Well, the headline is Comedian Rapped Over Radio Innuendo.
Right.
Jessica Hodgson has written the article. Are you familiar with this? Have you seen this?
Be careful now because we actually got a complaint. And people don't know this. We got a complaint upheld. And
all of this
we're very sorry. We didn't mean to offend. And it was a while ago. So we are going to be very careful. Karl's getting very nervous. We're just going to read out. We're not going to editorialise, Karl. We're just going to read out what the Guardian printed about us. All right? Okay.
Comedian Ricky Gervais has had a dressing down from a broadcasting watchdog for his repeated use of the word cock in a lunchtime radio show.
That's all right. That's what it says.
Fine.
Karl.
That's what
He's not going to say it again. He's not. Yeah. Go on.
Imagine this is the news and I'm reading it.
Yeah.
The Broadcasting Standards Commission upheld a complaint against the comedian for coarse sexual innuendo in the programme on London station XFM. The Commission acknowledged that the presenter's remarks were intended to be humorous, but took the view that the amount and detail of the coarse sexual innuendo had exceeded acceptable boundaries for broadcast, said the BSC in a statement. The complaint objected to a section in the Comics Saturday afternoon show when he discussed the different meanings of the word cock. Gervais wondered aloud whether the word was acceptable when discussing birds, but not the male sexual organ. A BSC spokesman said the comedian went on and on about it for nearly 5 minutes. XFM, a self-styled alternative radio station, said in its defence that its remit was to provide cutting-edge programmes for a youth audience. The station said the programme's brief was to include elements of alternative comedy within certain shows that would not fit within a more mainstream radio station format. In this particular show, it was not the presenter's intention to shock when they took a humorous look at how the English language could be construed in different ways within different contexts. Gervais, whose big break was on Channel 4's 11 o'clock show, has shot to household status through the portrayal of David Brent, the middle manager from hell in BBC Two's cult show The Office.
Just in case you didn't know who I was talking about.
Yeah, he's a household name, but they just thought
you might not have heard of him, but he is a household name. Now, that's good. That's good reporting, and they're quite right about it. And just to remind people, it was when Steve said the only bird that hasn't got a penis is the swan, and I went on about the male bird being called the cock, but I couldn't use that to mean, and it was childish. Yeah. But what annoys me is, I'm sure I've heard things on like Radio 1 like that. Oh, what's what's her name in the morning? Sarah
Cox.
Yeah, and as there's a DJ like Karl.
Cox.
Yeah, so you got Karl. What's the matter? I'm just saying.
You're just saying
there's a pair of DJs on.
Yeah, but we've done this.
I know.
What are you talking about? We're just talking about
names. They're just saying the names. Now, I love Cox in the morning.
You're a big fan. You're a big fan of Cox.
And at night. What's the matter with you?
Come on, Karl. All right, we've taken it. We've been. Have you actually been rapped over this?
No, I don't know what.
Have you had
means.
a dressing down?
No.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
I was meant to tell you, and I never got round to it.
Okay. Thanks then.
So don't do it again.
Kinky Afro on XFM 104.9.
Oh,
Could I just add that in case you don't know what the frequency is?
Yeah, exactly.
Why did they say that? I mean, so you know what you listen to. So you go, I'll tell you what, I like that radio station.
Yeah.
And it was XFM 104.9.
Exactly.
I'll listen to that again.
You'll listen to that. You can retune.
Yeah.
I was wondering actually, Rick.
Stay locked up this end of the dial.
True enough. I was wondering because obviously we're still trying to campaign to get Karl into the air.
Yeah.
With the balloon enterprise, and obviously the work's been done on that. Don't fret. Don't worry. A lot of people are asking for an update, but we'll obviously let you know when it's all going to take place.
Yeah.
But I was wondering
These
whether
things take time.
Exactly. But I was wondering whether we should also have another kind of campaign, some kind of campaign, maybe one that could involve you, Rick. Because I'm particularly concerned, Karl. I don't know how familiar you are with this, with Ricky's eating habits. Because he eats so unhealthily.
No,
it scares me. No, come on, Rick, don't give me this.
I'm getting better now.
No, you're not getting better.
I have a smoothie every day.
Yeah, but I've told you before, that's largely sugar.
No, a homemade one.
I don't care, Rick. That's not enough. It can't counteract, right? This is Ricky Gervais's idea of health eating, right? We'll be in the canteen at the BBC. He'll go, I'm going to eat healthy today, which means he'll have 2 slices of pizza instead of pizza and chips. That's basically that's his theory, right? And it's I don't know what, because he can't eat anything which basically doesn't sting the roof of his mouth with flavour. So like, for instance, he's always got headaches. He's always got a headache. Okay, that's because you just drink coffee and Coke. You never drink water. Your body is dehydrated. And I said, drink a glass of water. No, boring. It's boring, water. I don't know if we were in the desert stranded. Boring. It's boring, Steve. I'll wait till the next cafe. Right, and sometimes he'll go like, "Oh, I'll have a salad, right?" And he'll get like a feta cheese salad, right? And he'll eat the little bits of feta cheese, leave the salad. Then he goes downstairs and goes, "I'm still hungry. It didn't fill me up, that salad." I go, "No, what didn't fill you up was the 200 milligrams of goat cheese that you ate. That's what didn't fill you up." So this should be a campaign. I don't know whether I can observe it. People could sponsor him, something. Just eat healthy. We could do it for some kind of big charity.
Fruit.
I don't think the fruit's the issue, Rick.
If you mash it, I'll eat anything.
Rick, I'm not saying that you don't eat a certain amount of fruit. I'm saying that everything else you eat is unbalanced and it's just rich with fat and it's awful. Yeah. It's sausages, it's beans. You're such a working class scum, aren't you? It's the smell of chip fat is all around him. Do you know what I mean? It's like even when you can't smell it, it's there seeping through his veins. I imagine when he was growing up, it was just chip fat in the house, just a big. It was. Oh, constantly boiling.
There was always chips on with everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, all fried.
Do you want Weetabix in the morning? Deep fat fry that. It's such scum. And now it's like, oh yeah, my palate, I can't eat anything. It's got no flavour. Everything's got to have cheese on it. Sprinkling Parmesan cheese. More Parmesan cheese. And if someone doesn't give him a whole tub of Parmesan cheese when you're in a restaurant, even though he's ordered a lobster or whatever, he's like, he sort of has a go at the waiter, or not to their face, obviously he's too much of a coward, but he'll say to me, he should have left the cheese. He's so cheap with the cheese. They don't give me any cheese. He just gave you 3 bucketfuls. Oh, it's a cheese. More cheese here. It's pathetic. So I just think we should do something because I'm panicked. I'm worried. You know, I'm worried.
I
for your
started
health.
working out a little bit. I sort of work out twice or three times
I don't
a week.
think that's going to counteract it, Rick.
And I drink water through the night when I wake up and I'm dehydrated.
From all the booze you've just drunk.
Yeah, and I have a smoothie in the morning, don't I?
You know what my views are on the smoothies. I don't think that's counteracting.
You're anti-smoothie. You're anti-smoothie.
Because I don't think it's counteracting all the other
You have got
problems.
a problem. There's nothing wrong with the smoothie.
Right, fine. Okay, well, if you're happy to carry on as you are.
Yeah, go on.
Badly Drawn Boy obviously has done the soundtrack
Loving
to this
it.
new film About a Boy, which has got Hugh Grant in it, and obviously this current single, what's it called? The current one that's out, the Silent Side. That's currently obviously that's being played on XFM. But this is another track from this album, which is the soundtrack. Lots of kind of little bits of filler, bits of musical instrumental stuff, but all of it's very nice. This is a cracking tune, track 3, Something to Talk About.
Lovely.
Yeah, good tune that. I think Sarah and Lauren have emailed in. They said they wanted something from Elliott Smith or maybe Jimmy Webb. That's actually produced by the producer of Elliott Smith. And
Is that I haven't brought any Jimmy Webb into that. I'm
No, we'll
afraid.
maybe play that next time.
I'll play some.
it's good stuff.
next week.
That's Badly Drawn Boy though, from the soundtrack to this film About a Boy, and that's called Something to Talk About.
We've only got the stuff in the library. Do they want Four Non-Blondes? Because we've got that in the library, haven't we?
The best of Tony Basil.
And we've got just about every song that In Excess ever recorded.
Exactly. We don't play enough In Excess.
I don't think we do we?
Nice.
No, I can't believe it. XFM 104.9 coming up. White Van Karl.
White Van Karl. Who was obviously out with Karl last night. A lot of people don't realise this because we went out. There's what's the name of that evening?
Marketplace, extracurricular.
Yeah, various XFM DJs go down there and just play an eclectic mix.
Spin some tunes off.
Absolutely. I'm thinking of doing it in a couple of weeks, Rick. And obviously, you know, my turntablist skills now are pretty something to behold.
Yeah.
And I tell you this: I did an amazing mix the other day with my friend Dan. We spent 2.5 hours on it. This is how we spend our evenings now. 2.5 hours mixing from a trip hop sort of hip hop style beat into Arthur's Theme by Christopher Cross.
Great
When
tune.
You Get Caught Between the Moon and New York
Written by
City.
4 people.
4 people.
Bacharach, Carol Bayer-Sager, Christopher Cross, and a 4th one.
Absolutely.
Phone in.
If you know that.
Maybe we should.
But,
who knows the 4th person credited on that tune?
If only there were a prize.
700 800 1234. Also, I want someone else to phone in. Right? I saw an advert. Right, there's those advert toys. I think it must be. Is it because it's Easter holidays or something?
Right.
And I was watching today, and it's one of those transformer type things, and it goes in its shield. It strikes and then goes into its shield, and it goes into a little pod. And I'm sure it was called a bowlock.
Right.
Now I must have misheard it. There's no way you can call a little kid's toy a bowlock. So can you phone in? I'm quite willing to be wrong. It'd be very disappointing, but are people making little bowlocks for kids now?
Yeah.
Oh wait, 700 800 1234. And what was the other question?
Was there, the other question was who
was
was
the
the
fourth
fourth
person
person
who
that
wrote-
wrote Arthur's Theme?
Yeah.
When you get caught between the moon and New York City.
Crazy,
fantastic.
but it's true. Yeah.
The only thing you can do is fall in love, Karl. But I was out with Karl last night, obviously party animal. You know, he's hanging out with some of my friends. You enjoyed yourself, didn't you, Karl?
It's all right.
But you were a bit worried about Jennifer Lopez, weren't you?
Yeah.
What was the concern?
I don't really know what's going on in the pop world.
You're joking.
No.
Go on.
And I was here in the toilets, right? And I heard it playing out on the speaker, and I heard the DJ go, there you go, that's Left Eye Lopez there.
That's not.
And I thought, it's Jennifer Lopez.
No, it's the little one.
She had some sort of eye injury.
That was
You
genuinely-
thought he was breaking the news of
Yeah.
Jennifer Lopez losing an eye
I thought
by
that's-
calling her Left Eye Lopez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Don't worry, we put him right. It's okay. He
Yeah.
slept easy.
Yeah.
But you were worried for a while, weren't you? You were anxious for a while.
I had no idea. And the thing is, I heard that on like Thursday. So for like 3 days, I've been thinking,
You've been panicking.
why she called that? Because she changed her name before, hadn't she, to J-Lo or something.
Yeah.
So I thought,
Yeah.
has she got some people after her? Does she owe someone money? Keep
Yeah.
changing her name.
That was What by Gabrielle and Rise.
Anyway, more music, Ray?
Oh, I'd love to.
Tell you
Yeah, what
what,
have you got lined up there, Karl?
beat a band.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Sweet. Sure.
Respect, total respect to that. Massive respect. Yeah, no, Jew. Yeah, no, absolutely. Huge respect.
Night Sort of Club there. Spread your love on XFM. 104.9. I'm loving this, Steve. It's a lovely day.
Yeah. We're playing some great music.
We're playing some great tunes, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We're having some great chat.
Yeah.
So let's carry on. Let's continue.
Well, absolutely. Well, obviously, Karl was out with me last night, and he saw that I'm, he knows I'm a ladies' man, and that was obvious. Karl, you could see the vibe around me, couldn't you? When the chicks were talking to me, and just remembered recently, actually, I was on a train coming back from hometown Bristol, and I was on the train, and this girl walks on, good-looking girl. I thought, hey, up, a largely empty carriage. I'm thinking, my luck's in, because I take every opportunity, Karl. That's the thing about me. I don't choose. She was a good-looking girl. She sat down. I thought she sat down right near me. I thought, brilliant. As this guy comes up behind her, and says, I think it's probably a boyfriend or something. Sits down next to her. And I listened in on the conversation, obviously, because I'm pretending to read. It was very clever. I read the same page for hours, so I was pretending to listen. I was listening, but pretending to read. And I realised that it's not her boyfriend or anything. It's just some guy she's met on the platform. And I'm thinking, brilliant. If she's the kind of girl who's just going to start talking to someone, on a platform, on a train, brilliant, I'm going to be in here. Because he was only going one stop. So I'm thinking, what's the worst that can happen? He'll nick off, I'll get chatting to her, and who knows? I could join the... is there a train equivalent?
Foot High Club.
The Foot High Club, brilliant. And so I'm excited, I'm listening in. And it turns out that they're both kind of graduates who've just finished university, or they're coming to their finals or something. And they're chatting away, and he's making a couple of witticisms, and she's kind of tittering at his jokes. I'm thinking, well, I'll tell you this, if she's laughing at this kind of material, I am going to blow her away, with my kind of anecdotes and wry observations, It was weak stuff, I got to be honest.
Really?
He was coming out with nothing. He was running on empty, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And she was loving it. So I'm thinking, brilliant, I'm going to be right in here. And then they get moving on to higher brow things, and I think she was going to study kind of Marxism or something like that, or communism, something. And she was asking him, as by way of conversation, she was asking him what he knew about Marxism, And he was fumbling for his vague knowledge of it that he had in his life. And I'm just sat there thinking, come on, love, in any given capitalist environment, the proletariat will revolt against their oppression by the bourgeoisie, and after a brief period of socialist rule, emerges as a classist society governed by community cooperation.
Well, if that sort of talk wouldn't get a woman hot, I don't know what you'd use then.
If Marx and Engels is not going to get a woman sweaty down below, then nothing is. Then my name is
You're
not
just
Steve
biding your time.
Exactly. I'm just going to go in for the kill any minute.
Yeah.
So anyway, it comes to his stop. Right, he gets up. I'm thinking this is a piece of cake, and he gets off, and off he goes. He walks off, and I'm thinking brilliant. And I thought, I'll wait. I'll wait till the train's pulled away. I'm not going to leap in straight away. No. And he comes back along the carriage, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute. He goes, listen, do you mind if I give you my email address? Oh. Right, and if you want to get in touch, email me. I'm thinking, come on, you loser, get off now. Save your face, please, before it's too much. And she accepts the email address because she obviously doesn't want to hurt his feelings, whatever. I'm thinking, fair enough. She's a good woman. I'm liking her. I'm loving her. I'm thinking that's my kind of girl. So anyway, he gets off. I'm sat there, the train pulls away. I'm thinking, I'll wait a few minutes, I'll just, give it some time. Her phone rings. It's her friend on the phone. And she starts saying it, and I was listening in, and she was going, just met a guy on the train. I'm thinking, that's true enough. She goes, he was a good-looking guy. I thought, you're having a laugh, love. To be honest. Because I was looking at him, and she said to her friend, he looks a bit like tennis player Boris Becker. I thought, you should be so lucky, frankly, because I saw him. He had awful facial hair, if that's what makes him look like Boris Becker. Terrible little goatee beard. It was laughable. I thought, I don't know. And then she goes to thing, and she's like, I met him, we got chatting and stuff, and she was going, it's not often that you meet someone, generally in life, who's, kind of thoughtful and intelligent and funny. I thought to myself, I'm not even going to waste my time with you, love. Frankly, if that's what you thought of him.
You just walked away.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even bother talking to her.
No, I didn't even waste
my time with her.
If she thinks that bloke is not only great looking, but funny and intelligent, and she got on well, and he was polite, and it was a chance meeting, and he thought, and she thought that you were like a freaky looking dork who didn't even have the nerve to speak.
If that's what she thinks, then I don't want to know her.
I couldn't. You walked away, and good luck to you.
And I have my dignity intact.
Yes, and she's nothing. Travis, Flowers in the Window on XFM 104.9. Well, coming to that time where we do White Van Man.
Absolutely, with producer Karl.
And Karl's also going to be telling us his slant on fables, on Aesop.
Absolutely.
I was out with Karl. I know I shouldn't be.
Yeah, well, I broke the rule as well.
I know. Well, I was out with him the night before, I think. And we were just chatting. And as you know, we're going to Edinburgh for a week.
That's all three of us.
That's all three of us, yeah.
It wasn't. I just wondered for a minute if there was some arrangement you two had made. Like next weekend, just popping out there, seeing the sights.
Yeah. No, we're going to do a week's broadcasting from the Edinburgh Festival. And, and Karl's going, I bet you lie in, don't you, and all this. And I was going, well, yeah. He's going, well, he wants to be up at 9:30 and out looking at the sights, you know what I mean? Yeah. But anyway, and I said, have you ever had haggis? And he went, it's black pudding in it. I went, no, it's mince. He went, I like mince. I went, yeah, but wait, it's mince in a sheep's stomach, right? And he went, what, they force feed a sheep, then kill it? Imagine that, Karl.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't make sense. They force feed a sheep mince and then kill it till its stomach's nice and full. And they go, oh, this one's full, kill it before it starts digesting it. Of course they don't. It's a membrane And the other one, he was talking about, like, he likes Richmond Park. He goes, I like to see all the deers. I went, it's deers, plural. We don't need to say deers. I try and educate whenever I can.
What's that one? I said, deer is already plural.
Yeah, deer is plural. I said, like sheep or fish. So you can say fishes. And we were laughing. So I said, do you know the plural of mongoose? Because a lot of people think it would be mongoose. It's not. It's mongooses. Do you know what Karl said?
Plural of mongoose.
Mongoose, yes.
Plural of mongoose?
It's worth a competition. No, it's not.
No, go on.
Karl, what did you think the plural of mongoose was?
Mongs.
Play a record after this white van, man.
Do you want to play...
Oh, let's play a bit of Dylan, yeah. This is a beautiful track. It's Just Like a Woman. Well, I think that's a beautiful record. It's by Bob Dylan, and it's Just Like a Woman. And Karl went, he's got his headphones on, so he's speaking a bit loud.
The harmonica's playing.
In a whiny Manc accent, when the harmonica's going, that's an annoying sound, that, innit? God.
Oh, bless
Bob Dylan there. An annoying sound there.
Did you hear about...
The annoying sound of Bob Dylan, that could be a new album.
Yeah.
Just that sort of sound always reminds me of a one-man band.
Yeah.
Have you heard the story about Leo Sayer with his song One Man Band?
No.
Years ago. What year was... Oh, God.
I'm in the mood for dancing?
What's the song that he did about a one-man band?
I'm a one-man band, it was called.
Right, yeah.
Funnily enough. Go on.
He did that, one-man band, and he was playing it at the Dominion Theatre.
Yeah.
And apparently, whenever he sort of sang this song, he got the audience involved. And the line in it was, I'm a one-man band.
Nobody knows or understands. Is there anybody there can lend me a hand to my one-man band?
He said that, and what he used to do, he used to reach out and grab people's hands, and then he'd walk down the middle. Anyway, he said, well, anyone lend me a hand? And he stuck his hand out, grabbed like a hand, and was walking down. Everyone looked horrified. And some woman who had like a plastic hand, it had come off. And he was walking down the middle of like Dominion Theatre with this plastic hand in his hand. And he said, oh, that's a moment I won't forget.
He knows how to tell a story, Leo Sayer.
Right, well, it's time for White Van Man, which is where we ask Karl the questions that the Sun asks someone else.
Exactly.
It's an article in there where they ask them, typical man on the street, the big questions of the day, gives them their platform to the nation, and we think this is just too good to let out because we only care about one person's opinion in the country now.
That's true enough. He's the K-man, and there he is.
There he is. Right.
Karl, your thoughts, please, on Kylie Minogue slagging off Britney Spears for ignoring her fans at her premiere. Are you aware of that story?
No.
She got booed at her premiere of her new film, Britney, because she'd left her fans waiting for like an hour. Some of them had travelled up from Bristol, other parts of the country.
3,000 of them.
Loads of them screaming for her. She just went straight into the theatre an hour late, just gave them a quick wave and straight in. Didn't even want to shake their hands, sign any autographs. So they were booing.
What do you think of that, Karl?
And Kylie's obviously said that was actually outrageous, and you should treat your fans with respect. What do you make of it?
So she did wave.
Yeah, but literally as she was walking into the theatre.
Was it raining?
No, I don't think it was.
He's like a defence lawyer who hasn't really read the brief.
He's just winging it.
Judge, first, was it raining? No? Oh, shit, I was relying on that.
Was she running late for the start of the film?
Yes, but that's her own fault. I mean, the people are inside. They're not going to start the film without her. It's Britney Spears.
Yeah.
She could take some time out. When Tom Cruise came here, he spent like an hour and a half shaking people's hands, talking to people on their mobile phones, all sorts. That's Tom Cruise. He's a bigger name than Britney.
I know, but
he's a smaller person, but he's a bigger name.
What do people want from people? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
an autograph, things like that, a photo.
This one's going nowhere, Steve. Is there another one?
Fair enough.
It's not bad. If she had more time, she might have done it. I bet she would have done it on another day. I mean, I'm not feeling too good today. But
you're going to still take time out to sign people's autographs, surely, when you leave the building.
Yeah, there's always a bit of a crowd, isn't there?
Next.
Go on.
What do you make of a New York's ex-police chief saying we need more bobbies on the beat? He's come over here. He's the guy that sorted out crime in New York City. He's come over. He said, "You're going all over the place here. You need more bobbies on the beat, more policemen, a visible police presence."
There was something last week about some copper in London who was sat on a bench, and he was asleep or something.
Oh, yeah.
And people were like outraged because like he should be looking after England's people, not nodding off on a park bench. Which is a bit daft because
they were shouting he should be looking after England's people.
Was
this the 16th century you went back to? What do you mean he should be looking after England's people?
Wherever he was, if he was in like a park somewhere, they were like really annoyed because he was asleep. But
sure.
The way
He's probably undercover.
No, but the thing is, if there would have been any trouble, I'm sure he would have woke up.
Yeah.
If there was any if someone needed help and they screamed, he would have woke up. So I don't know why they were having a go at him.
Yeah. And he might not have been there at all. So, it was, he probably have his radio turned on, didn't he?
Yeah.
Listening to Heart.
So you're not concerned then that there's not the crime's going up?
I think there's enough. I see quite a lot of them whizzing around.
Okay. You're happy then?
Yeah.
As long as you're happy, Karl.
So you don't think it's too much crime?
No.
Just the right amount of crime?
Yeah.
What about the fact that new gambling laws give Blackpool the green light to become a British Las Vegas? What do you make of that? Are you a gambler?
Little bit when I go on holiday, like going in the arcade and having a little flutter.
Sure.
What's your favourite?
I have a go on the fruit machines.
Yeah.
There's a good one called The Simpsons.
Right.
Is that your favourite?
Yeah, it's quite good.
Is that a tie-in with the TV show The Simpsons?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will he make Blackpool the next Vegas? I don't think so.
No, nor
Can't
do
see
I.
it happening.
No. You been to Blackpool?
Yeah.
What was it? Was anything?
It's a bit rank.
Is it?
It is a bit rough. Needs a lot of work doing on it.
Yeah.
No, that won't happen.
Okay. And you're not worried about this encouraging gambling generally? Gambling's not a vice you're concerned about?
If you're a gambler, you're a gambler. Do you know what I mean? If Blackpool isn't done up, they'll go somewhere else to have a flutter.
Sure.
So it's not going to make any difference.
Okay.
No.
Okay, it's really good. And what do you make of the So Solid crew's Ashley Walters being jailed for 18 months? Obviously not a very good example to his young fans.
He should have got more.
Do you think?
I had a dream about him the other night.
Go on.
About the group itself.
Okay.
I had a dream that...
Were they all there? Because there's a lot of them. I couldn't remember all their faces. The feature in a dream.
I had a T-shirt on.
He had etc.
Exactly,
He had two of them, he had etc. Yeah.
I had a T-shirt on.
You had a T-shirt on?
Yeah, and it said on my T-shirt, So Solid Poo. And I was walking down the street and they came towards me. And they were just about to beat me up.
That's a great dream.
That's amazing.
That's an amazing
I love that.
dream.
We've
For
all
a
had
30-year-old.
We've all had that anxiety dream. Oh my goodness! What if I meet the So Solid crew and I'm wearing a T-shirt that slags them off?
Oh, I don't believe it. Yeah, yeah.
So what happened? Did you get beaten up in the
It was
dream?
one of them where I woke up. Do you know I've been telling you that I keep getting them things where you feel like you're falling?
Oh, yeah.
It was the same sort of thing. It's
But you know I'm not a real psychiatrist, don't you? You should, you know what I mean?
You do know a lot about a lot.
Yeah, I do. Thanks very much.
And, if I'm at home talking to Suzanne about something and I don't know the answer, I think, right, I'll ask Ricky that when I see him.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But you know that, I think you might have mentioned before that apparently if you die in a dream, it means that you're dying in real life.
Yeah, well, that's it. If you don't...
But apparently if you get beaten up by the So Solid crew in a dream, it means you're being beaten up by them in real life.
Yeah, that is true.
So you probably woke up
a lot of people have been
your
joking.
face.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
So, lock him up for longer.
Okay. Finally, what do you make of Halle Berry becoming the first black woman to win the Best Actress Oscar? Did you see her speech?
Got on my nerves.
Did it?
I mean, it's good that she won. It's nice for anyone to win an award.
Yeah.
But she did go on a bit. And, I've been in that same sort of position.
What? Placing an Oscar?
Well, I got... what they used to do at school is...
Okay.
If you did a full month without being off, you got a gold certificate.
Okay.
And I did a month once without having a day off. And I went up and I didn't make a fuss.
You didn't start crying.
Got a play record, mate.
Well done, though. Were you the first kid in your school to do that?
I don't think anyone else got the certificate. It was only because I was never in. They tried to encourage me to come in.
It was just for you. They mounted an entire ceremony just to
Karl
encourage you.
Wise words there from Bella Sebastian on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Matchin. Hi, Steve.
Well, I mean, it is indeed wise words, Rick. I'm worried that people are going to get out of the office now and into the sunshine, not be listening to the show.
There's always the transistor radio.
That's true enough. If you're thinking of heading down to the park, take one along.
It is time.
Keep it low, though. Don't want to irritate other people.
No, yeah. And if you do want to irritate him, spit on him. It's better.
Exactly.
And kick them and throw little rocks.
Exactly.
With me, Karl, came in Pilkington. We're into this way into the second month of the education of Karl. As you know, Karl got 1 GCSE in history and E, and we've been cramming, haven't we?
Oh,
And,
Rick, before you mention that, can I
on.
just say something? Obviously, we always do this thing with The Sun, White Van Man, where we read this thing out from The Sun and query Karl. And I was out with some friends last night, and my friend Dan always listens to the show, and he said, Karl, I love the bit when you answer the questions in the Sun. Why do you ever know what the questions are before they're asked, or is that your first answer? And Karl said, no, that is it. They don't let me see what the questions are first. They don't show them to me, and I always get really anxious and really get really paranoid. And I was just wondering, have you seen the error there, Karl? Have you seen the mistake you've been making? Right? You're worried that you don't get the questions beforehand, right?
What? How could you
maybe combat that? Do you think?
How could you combat that if you're really nervous?
Maybe you wanted to sort of have some views or ideas beforehand.
It's your error, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's your show. If you want to take a chance with me.
No. His point is this: that if you're really worried about that, how could you get hold of those questions in advance? Is there any way you could get hold of those questions in advance?
Yeah, but is it always in today's? Is it always in Saturdays?
Yes.
So they don't do that every day of the week?
They do, but I always take it from this Saturdays.
Right, well, yeah, I could, but that would cost me money. I'm not on enough as it is working here on a Saturday.
Okay.
How much is the Sun?
30p.
Yeah, well...
You're not made of money. I understand.
Yeah.
Actually, it's 40p on a Saturday. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, you were studying Aesop's fables, weren't you, this week? Now, I'm going to be very liberal here and let you talk about it. It's not a test. I'm not, hey man, just like chill out. I'm not this like rigid sort of, box in society. Just tell us your views. Just tell us your vibe on Aesop. Tell us something. What have you learned from these fables?
He made a bit of money out of something that's quite simple.
I don't know if he did make any money out of it. I mean, I think it was published like thousands of years after his death, but go on.
Yeah, they're just little stories. I mean, enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Didn't learn anything from them.
Okay. Or did you see? Because it's teaching through sort of like metaphor and analogy, and maybe it all seeps in and it's all subliminal, and maybe in a way your subconscious is teaching you.
No, it's silly, Ricky. It's silly.
If the stories were done in like a real way, that there's like a man and a woman, and it's a little story that something happened to them in life, then you learn something. But it's all about, a gorilla and a fox are walking through the woods. How often does that happen?
Sure. So you're saying if it was more like
if it was more true to life,
if it was more like
yours.
Real stories, like a kid on his grifter and a magpie pecking at his head, or two frog boys with webbed hands. I mean, if it was real stories from real life
that people could believe, actually happened,
maybe it would teach us something.
But why not do that? Like take a real situation, say like the So Solid Crew guy, going down for carrying a gun. Use that in some way. Do you know what I mean?
As a warning, maybe about carrying guns?
What about something like if you carry guns and that is illegal, you could have some sort of punishment?
Yeah, that's
good.
So it doesn't bother you then that the fact that these fables have been used for many, many generations to educate maybe young children or even older people, the fact that they've served a brilliant function and they've become classics, that doesn't bother you? You've seen through them?
Well, they don't always work.
Okay.
When I was out with Rick the other day, he brought one up.
I told him the one about the two mice, the industrious mouse, who throughout the summer he would be storing berries, nuts and berries, and he'd be storing it, and the other mouse would just be eating off the trees and running around and having a laugh. And they go, well, you're going to become hungry. He'd go, oh, I'll worry about that when it comes to it. And they'd do that, and he'd be storing his nuts and berries, and autumn came, and the mouse was still playing and not doing anything. And then winter came, and the silly mouse was like shivering, and he went and knocked on the mouse's door and went, I'm freezing and I'm starving. And the clever mouse said, well, I told you, didn't I? You should have been storing your nuts through winter like I did. Come in and share mine. And what did you say, Karl?
Well, and the moral of that is whatever.
Just be careful. But my thing is that it's not very good, because the moral of that is do what you want, and there's always a do-gooder, a share there.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the way I think, which is more sort of 2002, the ending should have been, the guy with all the berries should have been going, oh, I'll be all right come the winter. I've got loads of food. I'll be safe. But then as he's going into his little hut at the beginning of the winter, some sort of bus or something comes and kills him.
Right.
And it's like...
You should have partied hard because you might die.
Yeah. Enjoy life whilst you've got it.
Yeah. Okay. And if winter comes, just starve to death.
Well, worry about tomorrow.
Okay. See, I'm wondering if there's a new book here. I really am wondering if there's a Karl's Fables.
He's been coming out with some all week. He keeps going, well, that's a fable, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's your favourite fable in there? Have you learned anything from this book? Is there one fable you liked?
Yeah, I mean,
What did you like?
They're all right.
What did you like?
You've thrown it on me now there.
Didn't you like one about a crab, you said?
No, that was the one about messing about on a cliff edge or something. Don't mess about on a cliff edge. Well,
What was that?
I don't know. There's not many around here, so I didn't take much interest in that one. You know what I mean?
God.
Um,
I'm doing my best here. I'm
You don't
dying.
remember any?
here's one.
Go
Yeah,
on.
here's one that was quite nice. There was a belly, like your stomach.
Yeah.
And it's this belly on a pair of legs. And the legs was saying, I'm more important than you because I carry you around. And the belly said, yeah, but, if it weren't for me holding all this food, you wouldn't have the energy to walk around.
Yeah.
And that means rather than working on your own, it's best to work in a team.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the one similar to that I was taught when I was little was a vision of heaven and hell, and it went down to hell, and in hell, right, there was these people had like 20-foot long chopsticks,
yeah.
and they were getting their food, and they couldn't get the chopsticks into the food and get it round to their mouth because they were just too long.
Right.
Right, that was hell. And in heaven, they had exactly the same thing, but they were feeding each other.
What? Right.
You don't like Chinese food? Is that what you're thinking? Is that what your concern is, Carl?
No, I'm just...
The one I remember, I can't remember the ending of it. It's about two nuns in a bath.
Yeah, oh, I know.
I can't remember what it is.
Yeah,
I remember
that's
that
it,
one.
yeah.
Or are they on a bike? Maybe?
That's two adventures. It's the same nuns, but they go to all sorts of adventures.
They're normally quite erotic adventures.
Well,
aren't
they are, but there's one when they're driving down a cobbled street, I remember.
Go on.
And then there's the other... Then, of course, Whalebones on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant, and Karl. Well, Karl, I really don't think you got your teeth into the fables, really. I don't think you...
There wasn't anything to learn. I read a couple, thought, yeah, that's all right, and put it down again. There wasn't anything to learn. It was all stuff I knew already, but made up with nice little foxes and bears and stuff. So...
Yeah. But that one about, like... That's one we spoke about, like, when the hares are going, we should share all our food, and the lion said, that's a good argument, but it hasn't got the teeth and claws that we've got. That's lovely, because it's sort of like, that's an indictment on sort of, you could say it's an anti-equality almost. You could get really sort of deep into that. You know what I mean? You could... No?
Big philosophical ideas in a nutshell. Not interesting?
No, not really.
Okay, then. Well, you're going to hate this then. I've brought in the concise Oxford Dictionary of Quotations. Now, just look at some of your favourites. I'd suggest going straight to things like Wilde or Newton or Churchill or
You're a big
Keats.
fan of Churchill?
Yeah. He's the boy. Yeah. Well, okay. Let's go through that old Kramer. Blah, blah. Newton. Right. Right. Here's a famous one. Okay. This is Isaac Newton. If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants.
Do you like that one?
So there's a meaning in it.
Yeah.
Well, he hasn't actually stood on the shoulders of giants.
So remember, he's an amazing inventor and mathematician, and he discovered the incredible laws of the universe. And he's saying,
If you want a good view, move into a multi-story.
He's saying, if I have seen further than the people, and he's being modest here, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants to get that view.
If it weren't for all the people that have come before him with their great insight and knowledge, he wouldn't have seen what he's seen.
He's taken his learnings, and those people have given him.
Just say that instead of making up. That's what I've got a problem with. People don't say what they mean.
Poetry, art, and
in life though, people never say what they actually mean, and there's loads of books on it. I don't know. But
the point is that he's just summarised quite a tricky idea beautifully.
It's beautiful. That gets into you much deeper than just the words, just the literal words. You know what I mean?
One of my favourites is from an American novelist, and the quote is talking about the subject of fame and being famous. Yeah. Fame is a mask that eats into the face. Don't you think that's amazing?
Meaning?
Well, meaning that fame is something that is artificial, that you wear initially, you become famous, but it's ethereal, it's nothing, it's intangible, it's just an artifice. But if you stay famous long enough, you begin to think that mask you're wearing is really your real face, so that you begin to, think that you are more than you perhaps are. Do you see what I mean? In the way that fame and power can corrupt.
Well, who said that?
It's an American novelist, I forget his name.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, there's something in that.
Yeah.
Okay. Pick another one, right?
Yeah, let's have a look. Bernard Shaw, he's no slouch.
I think maybe when you take this book of quotations home, Karl, you should maybe just draw up maybe a list of 3 or 4 of your favourites and tell them next week.
I want to do Shaw and Wilde. I look at Shakespeare as well. You know, he's...
What, are you a fan of Shakespeare?
No.
Go on, what's your problem with it?
Just the way they speak. I can't follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like West Side Story?
It's really old as well. I can't relate to it. It's like years and years ago, isn't it? That's why I like Churchill. Because
1940s.
Yeah. Not
Look at this. This is Shaw, okay? There are 2 tragedies in life. One is not to get your heart's desire. The other is to get it.
Again, how would you see that in your little...
Well, that's one homework then. I'll mark that. That's your homework. You got to work that out. You've got to tell me what you think of it.
Say again?
Don't ask Suzanne. It's there. All right. There are 2 tragedies in life. One is not to get your heart's desire. The other is to get it. Okay? Take that home with you. And we'll be hearing Karl come up with some amazing quotations next week.
Yeah, pick out your favourites.
Now I'd like to play a song for the lovers while he's thinking.
No, I don't think we've got the lovers lined up.
Oh, what have we got?
Bit of hip-hop. It's hip-hop hooray.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, everyone's a big fan. I played something from this last week. It's this new album from Nerd, In Search Of. It's been re-recorded by the lads. I don't know why. And anyway, it's particularly good. We played last week, Things Are Getting Better. This is the one we have played in the past, actually. Bobby James from the album In Search Of. That's Nerd. And the track is Bobby James.
Loving it. Doves. There Goes the Fear on XFM 104.9. Well, just read that book anyway. Can I just say it? This is one of a beautiful. It's Keats, right? What do you think of this? A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness.
See, this is just like how it was at school now. The last couple of weeks have been quite interested in what you've been giving me. Now it's really like,
okay.
I really don't care.
Now, what about this? Now, I did philosophy, and philosophy is obviously the quest for knowledge. And look, listen to this though. This is what Keats came out with. Philosophy will clip an angel's wings. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Don't be constrained by what's, dream a little. You know what I mean? Just go beyond. I don't agree with it, but it's a lovely bit of poetry.
Yes.
Yeah? So you're going to read that for me, are you, Karl? Yeah?
Just pick out 5 of your favourites.
Yeah.
The ones that mean something to you.
And then next week I'll bring you in pictures of animals.
Brilliant.
Okay?
We'll do it.
Okay, and some sweets.
Rick, I've had a word with some of the top brass here. Or they had a word with me in the corridor. If you remember when
Did
we
they
started...
say, who are you?
Pretty much, yeah. Oi, 4 eyes.
Yeah.
And no, they said they were saying that, obviously enjoyed the show, they love it. And they're just worried, though, that in the early days when we started the show, remember, we were a lot more informative. We used to do the film reviews, there was things like the gig guide and stuff like that. Sure. Which we've kind of let go by the wayside.
They want us to bring that.
Well, exactly. So I just want
No. The gig guide. I was worried that, funnily enough, the XFM gig guide does not include some of the biggest bands in the world.
Okay, all right.
Or some of the best venues. That's what worried me.
Look, Rick, just do what you're told, all right? There's the gig guide. It's got a lot of big names on it. You're going to love the gig guide.
I need a bet if this is going to be pretty impressive.
Let's play the proper jingle.
Okay. Tonight, if you want to see these 2 bands in a small venue, get down to the Metro Bar on Oxford Street. Doors are at 8 p.m. and tickets are only £6 to see 10 Benson and Beach Buggy. All right? Now, if you missed Longwave supporting the Strokes at Brixton Academy last night, you can catch them headlining Casino Royale at the Monarch.
Rick, I missed them last night. How much will I be paying for that?
You'll only be paying £5, right? But listen, they're also supported by Shelby and I Remember Nothing.
Brilliant.
Now, people know about the Brixton Academy, but a little-known venue in Brixton is the Windmill. And you're going to see 3 great bands there tonight. Guapo, Plonkes, and Mechanical Beatles Never Quite Warm. So, Orange Goblin and Grand Magus play the garage, and, Diefenbach and Sudden play the Rotar sessions at Nine Hills Arts Club. So that's the gig guide on XFM.
What a load of rubbish. I mean, switch off the jingle. Look at this. We've discussed this before, haven't we? Names for bands that will never be anything.
Ladies and gentlemen,
please welcome to the stage Mechanical Beatles Never Quite Warm. Please welcome to the stage Plankweth. Please welcome to the stage Orange Goblin. Oh, goodness me. Look at it.
Oh, God. Orange Goblin. Orange Goblin.
It's so rubbish.
What's his name? Got a fake tan, hasn't he? That one of his supermarket sweep. What's his name?
Dale Winton.
Dale Winton, yeah.
Supporting REM. I remember nothing. Never going to happen. Please, come on, people, think.
Hey, here's a band that plays big venues. Doesn't make them better, sure. But this is Radiohead. This is Song for the Lovers and Let Down off OK Computer. This is beautiful. So, see, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Doesn't that move you at all, Karl? Philosophy will clip an angel's wings.
There was an old lady from Ealing.
Radiohead, Let Down off OK Computer. Apparently we missed a gig on that gig guide. Drip Feed are playing the Rock Garden on the 21st of this month.
Excellent.
So the lead singer just called in with that. He also left a quote with me. Apparently Coleridge said of Keats, wasn't it? He's like an archangel slightly damaged.
Rick, I'm worried we're getting a little bit highbrow.
Do you reckon?
Have you got any knob gags you could do quickly? Because I'm just thinking we're switching. There's a lot of people that are going to be turning off. Currently on Capital FM, Chris Tarrant and Dr. Neil Fox together at last. The partnership we've always wanted.
They said it would never happen. Do you know what I'd like to see together? That breakfast DJ, Sarah
Cox.
And who's the dancer? Karl.
That'll be Karl Cox.
Karl, please, why are you suddenly saying these rude words? We've been reprimanded once, Karl,
don't say
please.
that. And don't say it so aggressively, because it sounds like you're saying Cox aggressively.
Come on, we've been reprimanded.
Yeah.
All right? Just don't use language like that.
It's annoying me.
Come on.
Why is it annoying you?
Because-
We're talking about DJs, that's their names.
But you try to be clever.
I hardly think that's clever.
You've given me
Yeah, if that's my best attempt at being clever.
I've got rubbish homework this week.
Okay, he's really upset about
really
this.
upset.
He was looking forward to animal fat.
You said you were going to bring in that big book, 500
It's
animal fat.
I got it off one of those bargain books.
So
I thought
what?
it'd be easy, right? But it's too elementary.
No, but that's more useful than that to me.
But it's things like the tortoise has a shell to protect it.
That's good.
Yeah, but
You thought it was there just to be painted on with tippets.
Oh, have you ever peeled a tortoise? They fly. They go about 400 miles an hour. It's to weigh them down because they're the fastest lizards known to man.
Exactly.
Honestly, they run so fast they can go through walls.
Yeah.
And so their shells put on them in the hospital, in the maternity ward at a very early age, just slow them down. You let a tortoise out a shell and you won't catch it.
Steve, do you know that turtles can breathe out of the bum?
Turtles can breathe out of their bum. I know someone who can talk out of it, but didn't realise that. That is
Tell us about that. Tell us about that. And how do they do
That's
that?
it. That's all I know. They can, when they go swimming, they can sort of, if they don't want to stick their head out, they can just
stick their arse out.
Why don't they want to stick their head out?
Just if I don't know, maybe they need to be looking for food under the water.
Yeah.
And if they stick their head up to get some air, they might miss something.
Wouldn't it be easier to have an arse that could forage for food? So they could sort of like lounge in the pool like a jacuzzi and they're looking around going, all right, hello, hiya. And meanwhile, its arse is like munching grass.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be easier?
Bad breath.
Wow. I wish I understood what that meant. In all this
It's
hilarity.
like a quote, isn't it?
But in all that this hilarity, I'm worried we've forgotten the true meaning of Easter. No, come on, Rick, come on. You're just, you're being frothy and lightweight and a little bit rude. But, it's a time for remembering.
And chocolate.
That someone did die for our sins.
Yeah.
So can we just...
Be ashamed to disappoint him.
Yeah, can we just think about that and just take a moment just to consider that?
Yeah, can we do that?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You understand the true meaning of Easter. It's not just about eggs and bunnies. You understand it, don't you?
Yeah.
What's your memory of it? What's your understanding of it, Karl? Easter. What's it all about for you?
What do you have to do at school? Do you have to do anything at school?
I think we got a long weekend off.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
What did they call that weekend?
Easter weekend.
Brilliant.
Okay. And what was the reason for that? Why do we have Easter weekend off?
Jesus.
Yeah. But what did he do?
He put himself on the cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he didn't put himself on.
no.
Does it mean anything to you? Are you moved by that story?
Again, too long ago for me to sort of,
Okay.
to
worry
to
about
it.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if there'd have been an Anderson shouter involved,
Yeah.
you'd have been there, wouldn't you? You're not well today, are you, Karl?
Not at all. Don't know
No.
what's wrong with me today. I've got a bit of a temperature.
Have you?
Do you know Steve? Like, you know, he's always having a go at me. Last night when we were out with his mates, they said he's a bit of a hypochondriac to himself.
Did they?
Yeah.
What did they say? What were they saying?
He said, I said, Steve's told me he's not feeling well. You know, is he all right? Do you live with him? He said, oh, don't worry about that.
Really?
So he's always saying that, and I said, that's a bit of a fable. I said, cry wolf.
Yeah, one day I say I've got a temperature, and they go, oh, I've had the Lemsip, and he'll die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've learnt my lesson.
Yeah. There was one about the boy who cried wolf. The moral can surely only be never tell the same lie twice. You know what I mean? Because if he'd have come up with a different one, he'd have kept them going all year, I reckon.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that before.
What are we going to play?
A final tune. Have we got a bit of Suede, haven't we?
Well, it depends.
Let's get a bit of Suede and song for the ladies. Let's go over.
What's
what is it?
Ladies
It's only
is
the
very
football. It's only the football.
Don't say that. Yeah, give us your song.
What's the football? What's the match? What's this? The gig guide is Long Wave and Guapo and Plankers. What's this? What's the football match? So what are the football matches XFM covering?
Don't know. What
Come
song
on.
would you like?
Track 8.
So Bolton versus Barnsley.
You don't like sport though, do you? A lot of people who do.
Huh?
A lot of people who do. Right, track 8. What are we going for then?
We're going for it's a bit of Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
And I think it's quite a short song though, Carl. Are you sure?
No, that's cool. Yes,
it's
cool.
okay. You're okay, are you?
Yeah.
So this is the final song.
This lost a lot of energy, this show.
This is it.
I mean, the first hour and 40 minutes, I think, was dynamite. I think the last 10 have been
But I
flagging.
met Karl. He was full of life. You know, he was answering the questions and stuff. And now you've
And he
lost it, mate.
got fed up. He got fed up with the quotations. He didn't like us mentioning Radio 1 DJs such as Sarah
Cox
and Karl.
Oh, Cox.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
Sorry, everyone.